All right, good people. Um, this is just an impromptu, nothing serious. Um, just have to a couple things I want to get off my chest. That's why I'm over here and not on the bigger channel. Because when I address naysayers, I like it over here. Because most people don't like when I do it on the bigger channels. Most people get upset. Why are you talking to these people? Yada 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 yada. You know what, people? If you're in a circle, especially online, right? Okay, the people that you're connected to are still connected to these people, and it gets back to you. Um, I want to start with saying a little talk about the manosphere and the black manosphere. Okay, the reason I got into the manosphere in the first place is um, right after the mortgage crisis, and it got me into doing other research about gold and money and stuff like that. That led me into um, dating books. Okay, online dating and stuff like that with and dating sites and how they collected uh, the algorithms and how they're doing surveys and shit like that, right? Okay, so in that's where I discovered about OK Cupid. And OK Cupid, I signed up with OK Cupid not to get dates because I didn't have that problem. I had about 4 chicks chasing me at the time, so I didn't need a date. What I wanted to do was check to see what the survey was like, okay? Because OK Cupid had like 1,000 question survey, and they use it for all kinds of things, not only dating but also politics and stuff like that. Because they basically aggregated all these, I think they had like 20 million people at the time, so they would aggregate all these surveys from all these people, and they would sell out uh, the information of all this mass survey. And but they used to have this. They used to have this blog, okay, called I think I forget what it's okay something, I can forget what it's called, okay, okay Cupid blog or something like that. And they talked about I forget what the not the value, what did they call it, it was called the uh SMV curve. It was the SMV curve, right? And so I noticed the SMV curve from where they projected it, right, according to the surveys. And then, so you go online, you want to research what the SMV is, sexual marketplace value, and and that kind of stuff, right? This was like 2011, 2012, right? And lo and behold, I pull it up, and basically the rational male pops up as the originator of the SMV curve. I think it was 2010 or something like that when he came. It was 2010 when he actually came up with it, right? Rolla Tomasi. So I started reading Red Pill blogs, Rolla Tomasi, and a few others. Okay, and then that led me from 2012 into 2013, and down the Red Pill rabbit hole, right? That Tom Likas and the Voice for Men and all that kind of stuff. That led me to MGTOW. So I'm listening to MGTOW, and they have something there. I'm noticing what they're talking about and having something there. Well, MGTOW is basically a refusenik movement, not against women, but against the state. Okay. In other words, men refuse to marry or have long-term relationships in the environment, in the political and social and economic environment of America as it stood then. Okay, that was their gripe. It was never about, really, women were always secondary. And if you talk to any old-fashioned MGTOW, okay, they talked about women secondarily. They talk about the environment of dating women and dating in what they call this gynocentric environment, right? And how men need to protect themselves, not against women, but against the state. And the dataclysm came after that. Okay, dataclysm, the OK blog, the OK Cupid blogs, where is what dataclysm became. I forget the name of the dating book that I first read. I forgot the name of it because it's been so long. I think it was like 2010 when I read the book. And I was listening to them. I was listening to Tariq Nasheed, a bunch of other people. Things. That's how I fell down a rabbit hole and got into MGTOW. And then And when I realized what they were about trying to trying to raise MGTOW and all the manosphere wasn't about women per se. It's about awareness about the environment that you're in. Women were always secondary. Okay, in the white manosphere, women are always secondary. Women were not primary in the white manosphere. Okay, even if you talk about pickup artists, okay, women were secondary. Women were actually objects to obtain. And how do you run game? How do you perform to actually get the outcomes as a man that you desire? Women were always just like going to work and earning $1 million in Bitcoin or something like that. Okay, the object doesn't matter how you make your money. The object is to get the outcome that you desire. And so the MRAs, the pickup artists, and then secondarily the MGTOWs that came later, which was a refusing movement that MRAs weren't addressing. So basically the MRIs said we need to fix the system with laws and whatnot, and MGTOW said fuck it. What we're going to do is we're going to boycott the system, drain the swamp, cut the women off, and cut the social system off, and make the state come to us. That was the whole point about MGTOW. Okay, so I got into MGTOW. I was in that from 2013. Started making content in 2014, and then a few things happened in 2015 where the black guys in MGTOW, because MGTOW was and the red pill for the most part is the red pill. People don't believe the red pill is really like 90% white, or at least 85% white. Okay, white guys. Okay, they claim because the black manosphere has come into prominence especially since COVID. They think that the black manosphere is the whole thing. Okay, it's portrayed as the whole thing, but the manosphere itself is basically white. Okay, and after a few go-ins with trying to put black issues into a white manosphere and figured out it didn't work. What we did, the Edmores did, was we just moved over. Okay, a bunch of us moved over from the white manosphere over to what we call and eventually formed the black manosphere in like 2015, 2016. Okay, and that became the black manosphere. Okay, the previous manosphere they called the black manosphere was not a black manosphere. It was actually an all-inclusive manosphere, because you go back to look at the old guys that came up before us. Okay, they're MRAs. Okay, most of them were MRAs, and most of them are MRAs are pickup artists. Okay, they're in one or two spheres, and those are basically white spheres with a little pepper sprinkled into it. Okay, a little blackness sprinkled into it. But they really weren't concerned. They really weren't concentrated on black issues as much as say the black manosphere. The black manosphere was focused on black male and female relationship, which a lot of people forget, right? Because we always get this shit like, okay, how come you're not teaching men to do finance, and how come you're not teaching men self-improvement and all this kind of crap, right? Okay, that's not what the sphere is for, right? It was formed to do what? Deal with black male and female relationships, and deal with black male and female relationships as it integrates with the whole, right? Like I introduce a lot of stuff like politics and all that kind of crap in it, but that's not really what it's for. Okay, and from the very beginning, the black manosphere, it was about awareness. I'm talking to you, May. It's about awareness. Okay, that's what it was founded for. It's about the original folks, black men in the manosphere, was about bringing awareness and bringing your voice into the public where people will actually hear you. Because for the most part, because somebody actually printed, actually pulled it up. The black gender war started with Black Macho, okay, in 1978, 79, okay? Black Macho started the black gender war. So well before, when I was a young man, damn near a teenager, okay, that's when the gender war actually started, okay. But the thing is, black men didn't have access to the airwaves, and until YouTube and social media, we didn't, okay. But all of a sudden, when black men have a clapback, then women have a problem with it. But the thing is, the whole thing about the manosphere, MGTOW, and the black manosphere is to bring awareness and bring our thoughts and our concerns to the forefront. That was the whole. That was all it was. If you ask Obsidian, if you ask Angry Man, if you ask O'Shea, from the very beginning, that's all it was. It's about information and awareness. That's all it is. Okay. All this other crap you try to glom on to the black manosphere, that's not what's designed for. Okay. It's like having a Toyota, a two-seat Toyota, become a pickup truck. It's not designed for that shit. If you want to haul stuff, you go get a pickup truck. If you really want to haul stuff, you go get your big ass club van or something like that. If you want to haul shit, okay, it's not designed for that. Designed about awareness, okay, which thanks to Kevin and thanks to COVID, we actually succeeded spectacularly. Okay, once Kevin broke through that glass ceiling, that's like I put up the video called Escape Velocity. Okay, it's already done. Everything that we set out to do in 2015, by 2020, we had already achieved it. It's already done. Okay, the black manosphere, especially in the 2022 elections with the Ice Cube effect, okay, which is Ron O'Neal's BMI, black male independence, and black male political independence. Okay, that was Ron O'Neal. Okay, the Ice Cube effect came directly from him, which is why he had issues at his college. Okay, because they knew where it came from. Okay, the 19-point black male political agenda, which I had Dr. T write up. Okay. That stuff is global. Okay, they're talking about that shit in China about DNA testing at birth and other kind of stuff that we were talking. That's in the agenda. Okay, the agenda became a template. Okay, Jamaica passed that goddamn law. Jamaica passed the same. A lot of the stuff that's in the black male political agenda, Jamaica's doing right now. BGS, I was 19 back 47, 46 years ago. Because I remember I was at college, and a friend of mine, okay, I should have married her. She was 6'4". She dropped out of medical school. She's 6'4", very good looking woman. Okay, she showed me Black Macho, and she was telling me about Black Macho and the Superwoman. Okay, that really was the beginning of the gender war and the rebooting of intersectional feminism. Do you promote? Okay, to be clear. Now, it doesn't matter what I'm clear about what I promote. Okay, I told you what I promote. Okay, what are the words coming out of my mouth, May? I promote the concerns of men, okay, because the family courts, MRIs can hear the family court. I've had so many friends of mine and coworkers of mine destroyed by the family courts. Okay, I grew up in that shit with the when they made that change, destroying men. Okay, it's untenable, still is. It's untenable right now, and the only way to get through to your politicians and your lawmakers and this environment that you're in is to do what? Protest, make yourself heard. That's why I don't like the black manosphere or the manosphere, because we're not controlled. They can't make us into something. You can't make us into something we don't want to be. Mickey Masuda, everything's good. You can't make us into something we don't want to be. And to tell you the truth, you have no say in what a fucking man is, okay? And that's the problem. What's the problem with black women? Black women think they have a say in what a man is, okay? You ain't got no goddamn say in what a man is. That's for men to decide. That's for men to decide. That is why our message sticks. Not just in the black community, but throughout the whole world. It sticks. We have not been validated just by our own internal conversation, but the whole world is adopting what we fucking say. We got the people trying to imitate what we do on the continent right now. because the modern environment and feminism is spreading. Because guess what? As you get toward the industrial age and post-industrial age, feminism is going to follow. It's just a natural progression. Our message is beyond our borders. Okay, people in the UK are copying what we're saying. Pearl, like her or not, Pearl is basically copying Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels is copying what we did for years before it actually broke out. Where you think sign language? I'll tell you where sign language came from. Okay, sign language was not a projection. Okay, even though women do use that to project. Shame, guilt, and need to be right, which Yada Van Zant used on her show. Okay, is internally for Black women because they're ashamed. Okay, they're ashamed of their condition. They'll feel guilty because they have the inability to actually change it, and they cover up what they need to be right. And the insults come when you try to project that shit on the Black men. Okay, because the white man won't marry you. I have to see a fireball from Black Girl Magic. If it doesn't work, that's what you think. But the thing is, you're not a man. Number one, you're not a man. Number two, you're not smart enough to know what we're actually doing or what I'm actually doing. Okay, I've done this before. Okay, if you hear me talk to Dr. Marifa, you know I've done this shit before. I've done this shit with global politics, which is why I can predict exactly what the last four elections. Okay, the last four. You can see, once you know the pattern, you can actually see it. Okay, not just here but also globally. I see the chessboard, and basically, the Black community is nothing but a small subset of the whole chessboard. Which is why even though the Black manosphere is so tiny that it can't even be measured, but its impact is so big. That cannot be questioned from in 5 years. Because I asked some very good experts, right? I said, what if one group of men, okay, decided they wanted to make a political impact, not just on the United States, just the United States. We ain't even talking about the world, just the United States, okay? How long would it take and how much would it cost, okay? It came back, it would cost at least $100 billion in at least 20 years, okay? We did it with very little money, almost no money, and it only took 5. Okay. Now, did the environment work with us? Yes. Did we take advantage of the environment as it sits? Yes, we did. Okay. Did we have free input from experts that liked our cause? Yes, we sure did. But guess what? We got the shit done. That cannot be questioned. Okay. You can question a lot of shit. You can question a lot of shit about me, which is why people try to get me to do work for them. Okay. It's all you guys trying to do is get me to carry your message. Okay. I carry my own message. I know what I'm doing. Do you? May, if you're gonna come here and start and shit, you might as well leave, okay? I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, not just here but globally, because you're like, oh, you're talking about women, oh, yabba 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 yabba, but you don't notice how we progress up the ladder. You don't notice how we get our shit into politics. You don't notice how our message spreads, okay? Got to remember, Passport Bros was a Black manosphere concept. Okay, Passport Bros is the Black manosphere concept by King Sigmund in 2018. Okay, we help promote that and spread that. Okay, now you have anti-passport bro laws in China because it's gotten so big. Our impact cannot be questioned. Cannot be questioned. So y'all can say anything you want. Okay. Yeah, well, you're not doing anything for men. Yes, we are. Okay. Yes, we have changed the whole narrative. Okay, it took feminism If you want to actually count when feminism was actually identified as a pre-feminism was 1804. Okay, 1804. Feminism did not become prominent to what it eventually was until 1970. It took them 170 years to get where they got. Okay, to get where we exist now, or the first what they call segway feminism. What thing is which actually have power. Took them 170 years. Okay, because of the internet, because of the way things spread, because we are basically political guerrillas. We work with the environment. We're able to do it in 5. That's how come we have people studying us. How the fuck did they do this? How the fuck did they do this? And or trying to be repressed? Because trust and believe, they try to destroy us multiple times. Men and boys do go searching for the black man. Y'all, they're so dumb. They don't even know how this shit spreads. Okay, they don't even know how this shit spreads. Don't even know how this shit spreads. You guys, you're so smart and so clever and so educated that you, even though I tell you how it works, you still don't know how it works. You still don't know how it works. Even though I'm telling you how it works. I told you I know how it works because we did the same thing for the continent of Africa. Okay, me and my small little tiny group. Okay. With enough study and knowing where the pressure points are, we did the same thing for the continent of Africa. The exact same thing. All I did was take the blueprint that I learned from there and applied it over here. I have many more resources over here than we had over there. Okay, many more resources. That's like me and Dr. Marifa can actually go back and forth, even though he's a lawyer that's connected to. I think he said he's connected to the UN. Okay, I can talk to people in the UN about this kind of stuff because they know I've done this stuff before. And people trust and believe. A lot of these cats that you see around me, okay, that can't tell you what they do, okay? Those are people in the intelligence community, okay? Got tons of them. They're sent to study me. They're sent over here to study me. Because I'm on that list. Because I was listening to, I think it's one of FD Signifiers guys. I think it was Little Bill, right? He complained about him being on lists. I said, motherfucker, basically be part of my world. I've been on the list for the last 25 years or more. I've been on that list. I've been on there where they cut off your internet service and shit like that. I've had my lines cut. If you want to come up and ask a question, you sure can. There's a link.
Yeah,
you don't Mag, everybody that's around me, and AB can tell you, everybody that's around me is there for a reason. It has nothing to do with their color. I don't know why black women think that, okay, because of white women is types in our chat, okay? It's a lot of type in our chat that all of a sudden we came for white women. Baby, I got sent to white schools at 9. Been around white women all my life. Not impressed.
You grew up in private school too?
No, it was public, upscale, private. In fact,
okay.
I had 3 or 4 actresses, white actresses, who are actually on TV. Okay, I went to school with. Okay, like I said, what's her name's daughter? Okay, Maxine Waters' daughter was in my homeroom. So was Tina Turner's son. Okay, so was Harry Belafonte's goddaughter. Okay, I've been around elite people all my goddamn life. They don't impress me. Homeless passport. You want your camera on? All right. Oh, okay. Hey, what's up? What's up, Mookie?
Hey, Dio, how's it going?
I've been going straight. I just got done with the WAF deployment, so
okay.
I taught. I was on international passport tonight. I was just on Andre, so yeah, having some fun. I'm about to buy $500 more of Spanish books.
Ooh, Spanish.
Okay.
I thought you were fluent.
Not in Spanish. French,
Yeah.
Russian, Japanese, good. Portuguese, Spanish, I don't really jive with Spanish.
Well, I mean, it should be fairly close to French. I mean, if you know English and French, then Spanish should not be a problem for you.
Yeah,
Mm.
but French is
Yeah.
like advanced. It's fun. It's. I have to think for it.
Not
Spanish
okay.
is.
You know what? You know what? And this is something I got a tip from the from one of the language speakers, okay, language professors, okay. Start with the English and Spanish loan words. Learn them first, okay? Because 40% of Spanish has loan words in English.
No, my problem is Spanish and Portuguese are too easy.
Or too easy.
Yeah. So if it's not a challenge to me, it's hard for me to learn. I have to work I have to convince myself to do it. But
Okay.
Russian hard, acquisition instantly.
Yeah. Chinese. I'm having an issue with with Swahili, and it's not the words themselves, the pronunciation. It's the guy. For Swahili, grammar makes no fucking sense, man.
See, that's something like that. I'd be like, yeah.
It makes no sense, man,
You
because
wanna
because I learned the
yeah.
basic words, and then the English translation from the sentence. Said, how the fuck did they get that out of this? I mean, because
Yeah.
it seems like there's no structure.
Have you used audio? What's it? FSI? So Foreign Language Institute, Foreign Service Institute. Have you used it as books?
I haven't used that, but you know what? Because I know how I learned. Okay.
Yeah.
What I started doing with Swahili, I went back and I started translating basic little kids books, one word by word. You know, in other words, translating English to Swahili to actually ground myself in the language. Because like you, it's like, yeah, you lose interest, right? But the thing is, it started to stick. So now I think I'm like 1,000 words in. So it's probably time to learning grammar.
Yeah, that's a good method of doing it. I just have to reinforce it. So, like here in Austin.
Yeah, but you probably learn differently. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually more intense. It has to be intense and difficult, else it won't go in my head. So I now go to like my grocery store. I go to is all Latina, and then all the restaurants I go to are Latina. So I actually have to go there and speak Spanish.
Okay.
So yeah, it's useful. But what you're saying about MGTOW right now, you're entirely correct, and that's how I came through as well.
Yeah,
and like MGTOW was pretty much like, yeah, we're not dealing with the government. Entirely correct.
Yeah,
and
which you know, 10 years later, and right after, you know, thanks to COVID, man, most of your men are MGTOW now. Whereas back then they cursed us because we were like maybe less than I don't think we're less than 1/10 of 1% as far as MGTOW, okay? And people thought we were nuts.
Yeah, when I was like, this is the only way. I mean, look at the law. I just looked at the law. So I was like, you got to be insane.
Yeah. And the MRAs were trying to reform the law. MGTOW said, fuck it, just don't participate. Yeah.
Don't participate. That was like, so as far as I'm concerned, like, I'll never be a father in the United States.
No. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't do it either.
Yeah, I'll only be a father in South America.
Yes.
Or in Asia.
Yes.
And that's, I mean, I just sit back and think about that, like, how different is it right now from Jim Crow?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, honestly, so I can study more, I can make more money.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, wow, this is horrible.
The physical threat's gone, and basically people don't realize Jim Crow didn't end because they felt bad. Jim Crow ended because they could no longer make money off of you anymore. That's why.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because my mother told me that, because my mother lived under Jim Crow, and she was actually a sharecropper, right? Her and her family were actually sharecropping, right? They picked cotton and other kind of stuff, right? And then they moved to the city when she got about 12 years old, okay? And I asked her why. She said because the machines came in and took our work. They didn't need us on the farm anymore. So basically, that's what ended Jim Crow. People,
I believe it.
People say it's a moral thing and it's because of protest. No, it was actually financial.
It was
economics. The same. The reason they created Jim Crow in the first place, the same reason they ended it, is because of money.
Yeah. What were we like 60 or 70% of the GDP?
You know, because because
I didn't
we
go back and look. I got that
I had
book.
an argument, but basically, if you go back and look at the appeal from South Carolina when they separated, right? Uh, when they seceded from the Union, right? They said
Mhm.
that the slaves in the South actually contributed for like 75% of GDP,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
why Lincoln had to go after them.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah, that all makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's
I'm not saying it's a total, total. There's other things that went on with it, but the main reason for the Civil War, because South Carolina try to secede over tariffs in 1830, 1831, 1832 with the when they passed the tariffs of something abomination, right? And basically the only reason that it failed is because they were afraid of Andrew Jackson. Because Andrew Jackson was a warmonger, a war hero, and Andrew Jackson told him, "I'm gonna come down and whip your ass if you try this shit," right?
Mm-hmm.
So they all backed off. But thing is, under Lincoln, and they had, well, it really wasn't even under Lincoln. Lincoln came after the secession, right? I think it was Johnson was there, was the president then, right? He was weak.
Mhm.
They figured this is the best time to try to secede and get away from the North.
Yeah.
Because there's 5 slave states that didn't secede, and they didn't end slavery in them, so it wasn't about slavery. Anyway,
I can see that logic.
we're way off the thing. But thing is that
Yeah.
I'm saying about the history of like Mookie came up and told you what the history of MGTOW was and the manosphere was. The manosphere was not is not to degrade women. Okay, I mean, women do that themselves. Okay, we don't have to do all that shit.
No.
Basically, is women can only do what the state allows them to do. They can only do what the state allows them to do. We know that because if you go to Latin America and you go to Asia, right? Okay, state don't play that shit. State does not play that shit. Especially Asians do not play that single mother shit. Okay, because you would never have a whole bunch of baby mamas running around in Asia because they don't play that shit. Okay, the environment doesn't. They don't play that kind of stuff. So
Right.
the culture determines what women do, and the thing is, you can't change the women without changing the culture.
Yeah, so like when I went to Japan as an adult, I was there
Mhm.
for 3.5 years first before I came back to America. And after that, I saw the south side of Chicago, and the first thing I thought was, this is my state.
Go out and come. Okay, there she is. You're in. Okay. May, if you promise not to talk over people, you're good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought like the condition of black people was due to the state.
Yeah, it was.
And that was the only conclusion I can come to, because in Japan, first off, less than 2% of all mothers are single mothers.
Yes.
And they have programs that get them married. They do not want single mothers.
They do not play that. Yeah. Same thing with Korea. Same thing with China. They don't play that stuff. Okay.
And
same
then
thing with Singapore. Yeah. Go ahead.
They can't afford to have ghettos.
No.
So they're like, no, wait, man, there's no ghetto here. You guys got to go to work. You got to be productive. We can't have you be poor.
Right.
And so when I saw the South Side, I was like, this is the government right here.
Yes.
This is the only way this could happen.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, thank God I'm in Japan, because, this is what the situation here, in the States is. It's horrible.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, as Clark was saying, the tangle of pathology, okay, that's like when we always look at the mouse utopia, and we look at the demographic curve. You can damn near predict the state of that the state of any particular country and the laws and stuff that are going on just by looking at the demographic curve. Okay. In fact, me and Dr. Marifa, I was telling him that I was thinking about doing something on the African baby boom, because Africa, the average of African people on the continent are under the age of 21, 60%. Right.
That's true.
So basically, okay, if you look back in the United States, when that happened, it's called a baby boom. Okay. And what happened when baby boom? Basically, quickly will tell you, if you have a boom, especially in males, okay, like that, what you have is revolution. And what's going on the continent now? Okay. You have a big upheaval right now. Ukraine and them kind of stuff, they're helping it, but you have this big upheaval. So the next, Africa will go through a transformation over the next, I say, 10 to 15 years. Much like the United States did. The thing is that the United States, that's like the United States introduced feminism, is because they didn't want the status quo overturned. So what they did was they took most of the power out of the men's hands and gave it to the women.
Yeah. Well, but see, this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is. So, again, okay. So,
Deep Burma, a little off top. What is your opinion on LA protests? What do you think will be the outcome? Okay, real quick. I'll tell you what it is. Okay, basically, the LA protests are actually provoked by Donald Trump because he sent ICE during graduation, okay, just started arresting people, okay. Of course they're gonna be pissed. Of course they're gonna get out in the street, and guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna say, look at these uppity, out of control immigrants, okay. So all of a sudden, next week he got 500,000 deportation orders.
Yep.
Yeah.
So in other words, I understand you being upset, but you fell right into his trap. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Politics is a dirty game.
It's a dirty game, and Donald Trump is no he's no stranger to dirty tricks. Okay.
No, this is Andor.
Yeah, I saw when he did. This is Andor. Yeah, I saw when Andor is actually a very good series about politics. Believe it or not.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's accurate
About politics. So it's exactly what they talk inside politics and how it's maneuvered on the inside. It kind of reminds me of Dune and what's the other one? I forget the name of the other book. Inside politics and how inside politics shape perception and shape outcomes. Okay.
You mean The Expanse?
No. It's an old book written. Old science fiction series. I'm trying to remember.
Old science fiction series.
Yeah. Oh God. The fact that you made a movie made a series out of it recently.
You're not talking about Foundation.
Foundation.
Oh yeah, Foundation.
Inside politics and how inside politics actually shape things, right? So I saw the play when he did it. I said, "Oh, okay, I know what you're doing." And they got on the streets. Okay, y'all just fell into the trap.
Yeah, just falling into trap.
And what he do? Oh my God! I got to send in the National Guard because these people are out of control. Even though the government never called for the National Guard because you didn't need them. Okay,
exactly.
So now you got protests all over the country behind this shit. It gives him a reason to ship these people out.
Yeah. No, you're entirely correct. Yeah, so it's like, well, you don't protest. So the more that he sends those guard in, the better he looks to his base. His base already agrees with him. Okay. The thing is, a lot of these Democrats and stuff that are on the fence, they're trying to justify these are peaceful people, law-abiding people, blah 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 blah. But you see them burning up cars on TV. They have a hard time defending these people. And so if he can get the immigrant agenda through, because the courts are going to stop fighting him. Okay. Courts should start. All of a sudden, they just cleared the path for 500,000 people to be deportation orders. Okay, and so basically, all he did was cause. Was it cause? Well, not cause and effect. Action reaction. What I forget what they call it. He instituted the problem and instituted the solution. Yeah, that's all he did, and they fell right into it. But anyway, that's enough of that. So, but that's I mean, if you see the play, it's not that hard. Okay, I'm just worrying about the Latino leaders and Democrats, man. How y'all fall into this fucking trap like that, man?
But they've been doing the same thing with race for the past century.
Yeah, they have. The thing is, okay, if unless you actually agree with it, okay, you should. If I can see the play, you're on the inside. You should be able to see the play.
And that's the problem that I have, because you got insiders who can't see the play.
I'm you know what? That said, I'm beginning to see that. People that call themselves insiders and intelligent and knowledgeable, I'm beginning to see that they have no idea what they're talking about half the time.
Yeah, because they're a part of the cog, but they only see so much.
They don't see so much, right?
They only
see the wheel in front of them. That's right. That's true.
Yeah. So this is what Dedra was in Andor.
Yes.
She only saw so much, and her boyfriend only saw so much.
Yeah.
And you see all their rules were, but there's actually a master manipulator I was like, oh, I didn't understand this before. Like, oh yeah, now I understand it. Like,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what have I done?
In fact, a lot of the PhD call me Lucen.
Oh, no,
Lucian.
They call me Lucen. Yeah.
yeah, you are a Lutheran. I agree. Yeah.
When he gave that speech, I said, "Motherfucker, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about."
So,
Well, I mean, one of the things about the insiders, though, that I'm finding here in DC is that they really believe. I mean, this, and I find them to be blinded by the illusion of what the politicians are placing in front of them.
Yeah.
And because of that belief, they often get deceived until they reach the point where it's like, dude, what am I going to do? And that's what happened during the Trump election last time.
Yes. Yeah. Even though I knew Hillary Clinton wasn't going to win. Okay, I knew that before when she actually put her bid in. I said, "You're not going to win because the deep state's not going to let you win."
Yep.
And Bill actually acknowledged that. About a year ago. He's pissed. Okay, this motherfucker did us in. I said, "Bill, you know what was coming. But if you want to release those Epstein files, you sure can."
And where are those Epstein files?
They're still on that laptop, okay?
Exactly. We knew that wasn't going to happen. There's too many people tied up in it.
Yeah, even Donald's not going to release the Epstein files.
Hell no.
Hell no.
So BGS.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
When you come over to this channel, my understanding is that you coming over here to straighten people.
No.
Or clarify something.
Now, to clarify my point of view.
I just would like to say, I think what you said, which is it's not about, did you not say that? It's not really about self-improvement. Did you say that?
Okay. I think I was very clear about what I said. Okay. What did I say? What did I say that the manosphere and the black manosphere especially was about? You heard me. What did I say?
I think what I heard you say was it was about men being aware and expressing themselves.
No. In other words, okay, this is the issue, okay? And I know that you went to school. I know that you know how to listen, okay?
You said a lot, so I'm trying to.
No. I was very clear about what I said. The black manosphere. That's why I said it in simple language. I don't use big words, okay?
Okay.
The manosphere is about expressing and bringing into awareness our point of view. That's all it is.
Okay, that's what I just said.
No, you didn't.
No, that's not what you said.
Here you go.
I mean, do you listen to yourself? I mean, May, I do this for a living. I've been doing this for like 35 years. I do this for a living. I pay attention to what people actually say.
Yeah, awareness and expressing themselves. That's
no. I said bringing awareness to their point of view. Okay.
Okay, bringing awareness to their
point of view. In other words, there's a lot of things. That's where Mookie came up. Okay, about MGTOWs. Okay, MGTOWs was not about women. People think it was. In fact, if you listen to Thinking Ape, he used to be what he used to be. He used to be something. But Thinking Ape, and you listen to the old Bar, right? They tell you it's not about women. In fact, they tell you ignore women. It's about this change. It's a change in the laws of the state. Okay, that's what MGTOW was about. Because the MRA is about changing the law slowly over time. The thing is, the MRAs had been around like 30 years. They hadn't changed shit, right? So they need a much more radical point of view. That was MGTOW. MGTOW say starve the beast. In other words, cut off long-term relationships, cut off producing children, and cut off marriage. Okay. In other words, because the state needs what? State needs stable families, and they need to produce children for workers. If you don't do that, the state will disappear, and they know that. So the state will have to make adjustments to get the men back in line to actually start making family formation again, which is what's going on right now. Why you think Reeves and all Eddie and all these other people talking about male loneliness and shit like that? Even though they know what's going on, they're trying to get men back on board, back in line to actually start funding and producing families again. Okay, that's what they're trying to do. The thing
there's no way we'll do it. No.
And there's no way we'll do it under
Oh,
under
God.
the, under these under these conditions. Okay.
No.
Theo, you were saying that, but you're actually chasing a woman as a passport.
Okay, stick to what we're talking about.
I am.
Mhm.
No, you're not.
He's actively chasing
We're not
Oh, there you
going
go,
to do
folks.
no
women.
personal stuff. We're
I
not.
know I'm
We're
not.
not.
I'm just saying.
Yes, you are. You are
He
doing
said he was a
personal.
passport bro earlier.
He's a passport bro. That has nothing to do with what we're
See,
talking
y'all don't
about.
like logical
No.
conversation.
Yes,
May,
being
May,
logical.
May, stop. Okay.
I mean, it's like
No,
it's
hold on,
like.
hold on.
Go
You're
ahead.
smarter than this. That's what I'm talking about. You're
I am
smarter.
smart. I heard
No,
you say he's
no,
a
no, you're not.
passport
You're
bro.
smarter
What is a
than.
passport
You're
bro?
smarter than this. Okay.
Don't try that. Don't try that.
No,
Judging somebody
you
intellectual.
are
Don't try
smarter
that.
than this. What is
I am very smart to know what a passport bro
why are
is.
passport bro? He's a passport. Why are you going overseas, Theo? You're a passport bro. Why do you go overseas?
I'm well
Hey.
because no. Let's actually answer it. So I did over 20 years abroad, and I'm going overseas because of the laws in particular. So I want a better law environment. So I'm going to Brazil or Colombia, just mainly for the laws. Now, May, just so you know about me, I've been in MGTOW 15 years, and I earn over $600,000 a year. And if I get married abroad, I will not bring her back to the United States. So I'm taking all of my assets with me to another country. I am not remaining in the West.
You said if you get married, Theo?
He's been married before.
Yes, I've been married before.
Because you've been married before. And I think I saw you on a panel or somewhere doing a presentation, Theo, where you were saying that you were dating somebody who was of a Latino.
What's that got to do with anything?
It has nothing to do with it.
It's because
he just made the comment that we're never coming back. That's what he said.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with who he's dating?
That means that we're not dealing with women.
No. What does that have to do with who he's dating?
That's none of your business, really.
He threw his hands up and he said, "We're not coming back."
And he said, what did he say exactly?
Yeah.
No. What did he say exactly? Listen to what he said.
Like
what did he say exactly?
No.
It's pretty. It should be short-term memory should work fairly well.
He just throwed his hands up and he said, "We're not coming back."
He said, if I choose to get married,
that's what he just said.
We are not coming back. If you're going to quote the guy, quote him directly. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what he said before.
Hey, now, May, if you keep this up, okay. If you keep this up, guess what's going to happen?
Okay.
Yeah. So if it happens, because I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but if I do it, yeah. But in the meantime, I will be buying a house abroad. I will be building a gym abroad. I might be doing some other things abroad. I'm actually building a cloud environment right now for my students. I teach hundreds of Black men cloud, so I'm actually that's my main endeavor. Mm-hmm. But the laws are so bad in the United States for family. Mm-hmm. I will not even. It's impossible. I will not even date. It's just obscene. Yeah. It's just horrible.
I have a couple of PhDs. Dr. Neal's one of them said he refuses to date in the West anymore, and he still teaches. Refuses to date in the West anymore.
Yeah. Do you realize that in a lot of these countries, this idea of law and order, things making sense, and being able to hold people accountable legally, that a lot of stuff doesn't work? When you go to
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
I'm talking about women. I'm just talking about
does Japan and places like Korea hold people accountable?
Yeah, I did 16 years in Japan, May. I said I spent over 20 years abroad.
I'm not saying there's no exception.
I'm saying, like, how many years abroad have you been?
Well, the reason why I'm saying that
no, how many years abroad have you been?
Answer the question directly.
No, you answer the question directly.
I'm answering.
Answer, please.
Can I just get like 2
seconds? Hey, look.
No,
none of that female stuff on here. No. What I want is a direct answer. This is a male space. Use your logical mind, okay, instead of your feeling mind, please.
I'm not using feeling. I'm about to tell you a fact.
No, you're not.
Okay, I need a number. Really? How many years abroad have you spent?
That's what I'm about to say.
Say it.
I can just
say it now.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I spent X amount of years
abroad.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Dominican Republic, I've spent 10 years in and out, not full time.
full time,
in and out as an expat and a homeowner in the Dominican Republic. So I can only respond to like being there part time in that country. But what I can say, there's a brother, I don't know, you probably know of him. He ended up going to the Philippines. Think about that, Theo. He was in DR and he ended up going to the Philippines, and he talked very thoroughly. I know y'all know who he is. And he talked very thoroughly about how it was unfair, a lot of the laws and the regulations in the DR, and it doesn't have a lot of order. And I'm just
I know you talked about it. The thing is that all laws are different.
What's his
Okay.
name?
Yes.
I know what you talked about, because he said he got his, his teeth capped. Okay.
Yes, that's him. Yes,
When you go to any country, the laws work differently. They don't work the same way they work here. Okay.
Yeah, that's all I was.
But he will tell you he's not coming back to the States to get married or have a relationship. Okay.
I mean, I can say it. I can say this, like, especially in the DR being Haitian, it's any of these countries. You just have to have a network. You can't just assume or have this.
Tailor-made dreams. That's it.
May.
Yeah, you can't just have this thought process where, because I come from the States, things are going to be orderly fashion. No,
Yeah, they don't
it
care.
doesn't really. They don't care. And this is one of the things where, like, a lot of sisters, don't really understand, especially if you have not been to, with DR is one place, but you go to, like I said, Haiti, Africa, South, any of these.
Yeah. But Central America, there's a lot of stuff. Basically, but you have to have a network. Ghana,
it's the network.
Me and Dr. Reef were talking about the same thing about the difference between Kenya and Ghana, right? With Ghana, basically there is no straightforward way of doing things, right? Because it's not established. Okay, it's more about connection and more about networking, right? Okay, whereas Kenya is, because we're under British rule for a long time, right? It's a lot more formulated, right? Okay, like so like you go to Asia, and it's, I was talking about, right? Okay, if you want a visa or a green card, there's a straightforward way of doing things. Okay, you go to Japan, it's a straightforward way of doing things, right? You go to Latin America and most of Africa, it's hit or miss. Okay, you got to know somebody to know somebody. Okay, even places that are gringo-wise, like Panama, Guatemala, places like that, certain parts of Latin America, right? Okay. I was saying, because I was just saying this 10 years ago, right? But about the continent, right? About Ghana, because I was pissed, right? Okay. I can go down and within 3 years get a passport in Guatemala, okay? And Ghana, they will take me 10 or 11 years and a whole bunch of money, because there's no straightforward path. Even though the laws are in the books, there's no straightforward path to actually accessing that. So we go to different countries, everything don't work like the West.
Yeah.
Right. So my point, let me talk to you, May, you went back and forth between the DR, right?
Yeah.
Okay, when I went to Japan, it was one way. I actually got residency in Japan. My money came from Japan. My legal was from Japan. I'd had no relation to the United States, no property. Fortunately, my state allowed me to vote, but I had no bank account, nothing in the United States, no taxes paid, no money earned. I was there in Japan. This is what I'm talking about. I really left. It wasn't this going back and forth stuff. I was gone. And so when I'm going to Brazil or Colombia or Peru, something like that, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going. Yeah. I'm bringing the dogs with me. I'm bringing everything. All the legal stuff. It's all, the entire system is going abroad. I will not have any property here in the United States at all. I will not have any connection. That's why I say it's a total cutoff. And that's the way I want it.
Now, so that you know that you want to stay?
I know that I want to stay. That okay.
He's got property down there already.
Yeah. Okay. I actually do have property in Rio.
Okay.
But my life was so good in Japan. I can't stand it here in the United States. So of course I'm going back. It's very simple. I'm 100%. I'm going back.
I was the same way when I came back from overseas back in 2004. I did not want to come back.
Yeah, I was. You know what? I was the same way when I went back down to Guatemala for like 3 months, man. When I came, I didn't want to come back.
Yeah, and I had been out of the country for 6 years at that point. Yeah. So coming back was just out of the question. But
it's a culture shock. There's a I can't remember his name. There's I think he calls it "Quit in America." Okay, a black guy. talks about why he left. Okay, and how a black man is treated abroad, a black American is treated abroad, how you get a lot more respect and a lot more leniency because you're an American instead of a black American. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, me being an American and not a black American, night and day difference.
Night and day difference.
Oh my goodness, it's so much better.
Yeah, because if not, they treat you like an African. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what, Theo, you got a different situation. You're in Japan, and that's the advanced, society, and they have a lot of order and respect. That's different.
But
some of these third world countries,
they're different from what?
Some of these, I'm gonna say, some of these third world countries and countries where a lot of people are the poor, and you, because you're Western, you have more money. I get what I don't like when I travel, especially to the third world, which is what I call like gringo fatigue. I get like I get really treated like I'm a tourist.
A mark. You are a tourist to them because you are.
And it's like that though. It's like that. When you live on some of these poor places, everybody treats you like that. They're always trying to cheat you and scheme you. And the reason why I do know that is because I follow some blogs.
You know what? You know what?
Blogs.
You know what? I was down in Guatemala for 4 months. Okay. I wasn't treated like a gringo. Why? Because I blended in. I didn't do gringo shit. Okay.
Yeah,
I caught the chicken busters like everybody else. They ate the same place. Everybody I blended in so well. They thought I was one of them.
Man, I'll make it clear. I'll give 2 examples. One of my very good friends, I would say about 2 years ago, decided to up and leave. Right. He's been on his motorcycle traveling. He's been to almost 60 countries. He's called digital nomad, right?
Yeah.
And then when I asked him, just like as many of the men on this panel will tell you, the feeling of being talked to as a human being, or being someone having the curiosity of like, what is this? What is that? Right? Yeah. There's no pressure. There's like, oh, can you teach me something? Can I learn something? There's a fair exchange, right? And then so for many brothers, once they experience that and they just see, wow, like as many say, when they come back to the States, they're like, man, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
It's like you start to rationalize. I'm back on this hamster wheel,
right?
And it's not even fun.
Yeah. It's a nightmare here. I really can't stand it. Like when I came back and the police could shoot you.
Yes.
I was like, what the heck?
You notice immediately when you first get off the bus or get out of the cab and walk down the street and the police car rolls right by you, your gut tightens up.
Yeah. It's horrifying.
It's horrifying, yeah.
Whereas in Japan, the UK, they just walk up and talk to you because they know you don't have a gun.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, what are you doing? Or like, do you need some help or something like that? Yeah. In Japan, you can urinate on the street, barf in front of the police, and they'll just come up to you and say, like, are you okay?
Yeah.
That's it. And they're like, I need to go home. They're like, oh yeah, okay, go ahead and go home.
Yeah.
And, I was like, they can actually think that I did something wrong in the United States and shoot me without me being aware that I was actually a target. I'm like, oh my goodness, how horrifying this country is. I don't even want to go outside.
Yeah. You know what?
That's white culture, though.
Okay, you're not understanding what we're saying because you're not
understanding this.
You're not understanding. No. Yeah, you're not understanding. It's okay.
Yeah. What do I not understand, BGS? I said it's white culture.
Okay, you do not. Of course, it's white culture. Okay. The only thing parallel. The only thing parallel is being a Palestinian in Gaza. Okay. That's the parallel.
Exactly, because I was in Europe for 4 years, and that was white culture too, and that shit just didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Yeah.
Drastically.
Yeah, I was in the UK. I just walked up to the police officer and said, like, you're not armed. Like, how? If I do something wrong, like, what do you do? And he just said, I just show you a photo of my mother-in-law. How's that? I was looking at him like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I don't even care. It's you're good. Like, if you really do something wrong, we'll just call a lot of us at you and we'll get you.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Trying to explain the experience of a black male in America to a woman to anybody else is almost impossible. Okay,
Yeah.
it's almost
You've
I
been
impossible.
wasn't
shot
denying
here.
his experience, BGS. I was
Yeah.
just saying that the part of why he's experiencing that is white supremacy. When you go
White
to brown nations,
What else is
like
new?
he was in
No.
Japan, he's
Hold
around
on, hold on,
people.
hold on, hold on. Okay, let her
I
finish. Go
can't
ahead.
finish the sentence. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Good.
Okay, what did I just say, May? Listen to what I'm saying. I said let her finish.
Finish. Yeah, good.
Well, okay. Let me ask you, May. What's your issue? Okay, because you're defensive. Everything I say, you're trying to defend yourself. Okay, I said let her finish.
It was a lot of different voices. I couldn't
No.
hear.
I don't want to hear that because you're talking to me.
I'm not defensive.
Yeah, you are. You are. I got 2 daughters, man. I know what
You
defensiveness
cut me
looks like.
off a lot when
No,
I'm talking. So
you cut people off a lot when you're talking.
Mm.
Okay, I said let her finish because you just cut people off. Okay, you jump right in, and cut people off. Well, go ahead. You were going to say something. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, of course. What I was saying is I travel a lot too. I'm a world traveler. I travel a lot. I don't have a whole ton of countries under my belt, but I'm working on it. And so yeah, I've seen what you're talking about. So I have to kind of go back a little bit on what I said about white supremacy. Partly it is that, but I do know that when you go, like I've been to London and I saw this Indian guy throwing trash cans in Hyde Park, and I saw 2 bobbies come from different directions, and they just walked over and they talked to him. He was drunk and belligerent, and they just talked to him like he was a human being. And I heard it because I was sitting on the bench, and they talked to him like a person, and they asked him what was wrong, why did he have a bad day. They gave him, some advice or whatever, and they sent him on his way. Didn't arrest him, didn't beat him or anything. So I definitely see that. I don't know. Maybe there's an American brand of white supremacy.
It is.
There is.
There's a bunch of brands of white supremacy. And white supremacy, in fact, is global. In fact, I forget his name. He actually ran for vice president of the Green Party. He was saying the same. White supremacy is global. What's going on right now with the Ukraine and in the Middle East? That's white supremacy. Okay.
That's
Just
white on white
different
crime.
Yeah, that's a different version of white supremacy. Okay.
Yeah, so America has the most virulent type.
It's the most
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
That was
That in South Africa.
that in Israel has the most virulent.
Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The last time someone saw it, they didn't drop bombs on the ghetto. Okay.
Mm,
Because they need your work, so that's probably why they didn't. But anyway,
yep. So again, like when I was in France, I was at Sorbonne for a year, and like they didn't like how I was riding my bike one time. They stopped me, and I just said, "Je suis américain." I just said I'm American, and they're like, "Okay," they let me go.
Yeah, you're American.
That was it.
Yeah,
It was done.
The black man experience is unique. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Theo,
they didn't care.
Theo, I was just in Nice, and again, like we say, different levels of white supremacy.
Right.
But I can definitely say in these type of environments, the European style of white supremacy, it is not as aggressive as the trauma that you deal with in America.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is-
I'm horrified to go outside.
Yeah. Even in Latin America, I mean, white supremacy even exists in Latin America, believe it or not, with Las Castas. Okay, the lighter you are, okay, the more you're accepted. Okay, so it's a global thing. It's a global phenomenon. The thing is, us being American, we're out from the empire. We're outside of that. When you go outside the United States, you're outside the system.
Do y'all think that's a bad thing to be leaving what you fought for and your ancestors fought for? Do y'all think that's a just tough decision?
I did not fight for this.
Why? We didn't fight for this.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, we fought for the option to leave. Okay, when we leave, we take our passport with us, don't we not? Okay,
exactly.
Yeah, our ancestors fought for our rights to have options.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like voting. Yeah, we fought for the right to vote, but we also got the right to abstain.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, what do you want? If you really, just like some people that want to fight for the place of land, they're willing to die for the land they were actually born on. At some point, you got to say, you know what's best for me, my family, my people. Okay, and it might not be here.
Yeah, and for your mind, your sanity.
Yeah.
Mm.
I hear that. I hear that. I hear that all the time. The pro-black community is a gynocentric space in the first place, which is why I can't do what I do here over there. Okay, and that's the first thing I hear. I'm not leaving here because my ancestors fought for this shit. This motherfucker. If you want to die here and suffer here, go ahead. Because I'm not.
Yeah, your ancestors fought for options. Damn
For
it,
options.
that's what they fought for.
Yeah, exactly. Options.
Yeah. So, like, when I was in Japan the first time when I was a kid, and Japanese girls talked to me like, that told me that I was American, and they just talked to me. And then I came back, and people, like my friends' families, were looking at me when I was in their house, like I was stealing something. Yeah. I became totally aware of the situation.
Yes.
And that's where I started becoming scared. And again, I went to France, no problems. Russia, no problems. I was in somebody's apartment, something like that. They're like, yeah, there's an American in the apartment. Who cares? Right? Here, race. And it's horrifying. I'm like, why do I want to stick around?
I mean, if you go to if you go to India, how the Dalits are treated is similar to us. Okay, same thing with the Palestinians. Okay, there's a couple other places that are like that. But that's inside an internal system. Okay,
right.
Okay, the thing is, Black Americans. I tell Black men, okay, you got to remember you're American outside the system. Okay,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your color doesn't matter as much outside the system. Okay. The thing is, what do you want? If you want to be here and that's what you want to do and you want to suffer here, that's that's on you.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you're right.
Trust and believe. The funniest thing is, man, because one thing I like about the Passport Bros, okay, because it exposed exactly what the Black men have been saying forever. Okay. And I had a Kenyan woman because she watched Pop the Balloon. She said, "Why do your women treat you guys like that?" She said, "I would never do some stuff like that, like Pop the Balloon." I said, trust and believe, because I personally know 4,000 Black women, okay, personally, okay. Sometimes know who their grandkids are and all kind of shit, right? And I've heard that many times they go to a club just to reject men, and then come and laugh about it because it's funny. It's like a pastime. So when I saw Pop, I knew Pop Balloon would skyrocket in popularity because Black women like that shit. Girl, what do you wait? What'd she say to him? I said, ha 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 ha, because it's funny.
Yeah. I'll give you a perfect example. So I was in Nice. I went to party in Cannes, right? One of the things I drastically noticed, and I was with someone from the States, and she noticed this as well. You did not see this false idolization of being on social media. I have to let the world know. Everyone was in the moment trying to enjoy themselves. People were pleasant. Women were complimenting each other. Hey, how are you? What's going on? You look nice. It wasn't this once you come back to the States, as for most males, brothers, it's like you can't even have a decent conversation or even have a presentable face. Because you're already in the I call it the pop the balloon mode.
Yeah, and Pop the Balloon mode. I mean, that's why. Cause I'm gonna tell you, man. That's why I documented all this stuff because I heard Big J talk about 1752, right? Okay, and said how Black women were actually put in charge. Okay, I said there's a reason for it. He didn't tell the whole story, right? Okay, I forget what it's called, right? The status of the womb, right? Okay, is because and I said it on AB's channel, right? Okay, the status of the womb is because European law and custom did not allow for perpetual slavery. Okay, they had to change the law. Okay, they couldn't change for white women. But it could change for Black women and Black slaves. In other words, whatever came out of that Black woman's womb was a slave. Okay, no place else in the world could you do that. I mean, no place in the world could you do that. Okay, the Americans were the first one that introduced chattel slavery through the female. Okay, so through the breeding camps and the family, women were actually put in charge over the family and the male by the white master. In fact, Dr. T just said this, right? Okay, there would be no Black matriarchy without the enforcement of the white so-called patriarchy. Okay,
who created it? Who created those circumstances?
White people.
Right.
That was the
Black
white
people cause
supremacy.
money.
But who has to suffer under it?
All of us.
No,
No.
black men.
Back
Here we
then.
go.
Black men.
Here we go.
Black men were never supposed to be educated. Okay, ever. Okay.
Mohawk Conference.
During the Mohawk Conference, yeah. That's why I was referencing the Monahan report. Only 20% of black males ever graduated high school in the early 60s. Okay. Clark actually talked about this. Okay. That's where Monahan, hold on. That's where Monahan got this shit from. Okay. And the thing is, until the 1970s, because Monahan and the Kerner Commission demanded that these black men needed jobs. He had to bring these black men up to standard, up to code. That's when they started educating black men. So the best time for black male education was between 1968 and 1980. Okay. After that, the white feminists flipped the whole game back around again.
I believe it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's why I documented this stuff. Okay. I don't just talk. Okay. And the reason that people follow me, May, because I don't just talk. Okay, I actually show them and teach them where the fabric or where the stuff comes from. That's what I do. Okay,
I know you're the master weaver.
No, ain't no master weaver. In other words, prove me wrong, May. Go to the books and prove me wrong.
It's your perspective.
Go to the books and prove me wrong. Actually, Tommy Curry, Dr. Neal, and all these other people agree exactly what I'm saying. Basically, you can go back and read Frazier, okay? Frazier and Clark, okay?
I know you got a lot of books and stuff and references. And
the thing is, what's the bane of black people? Y'all don't read, okay? I do.
But I read, but it's just not that topic.
No, you don't read. You don't read, okay?
I got you. See, there you go.
No, there I go. You don't read.
You see, you look at Theo Woff's wall. I got one just like that right beside me, and I read all my books.
No,
you don't know what I read.
If you don't read, have you read the Monahan report? Okay, it's only 60 pages.
I'm not going to read that because I don't want to read it.
Well, then why are you here then?
But why? That's the purpose of the conversation.
Have you read Kenneth Clark? Have you read Kenneth Clark's Dark Ghetto?
It's 60 fucking years old.
Have you? And it's still relevant.
No.
Okay.
It's very
the kind
relevant.
of nonsense I can't stand, man. It's still relevant.
Tragedy and Hope was written in 65. They're still using it today, okay?
Y'all choose to use it, but you have to always remember
no, ain't no,
you have to move your research forward. And
we're not choosing to use anything. The thing is, the United States is still using that
academics
blueprint.
use.
No. United States still base their stuff on the stuff that was done in the 60s, or including DEI, including affirmative action. Still based it on that, okay?
May I have a question for it? May.
Yeah.
My question to you is, if you choose not to read some of the hard material that is archived we're talking about massive think tanks, legislation, why do you continue to participate in these type of debates where you really have no interest in learning not even from the black male side? These are white male perspectives that are actually sitting and saying this direction for the black community is harmful.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, white folks don't have to do this. They really don't.
They don't have to do what?
Write that literature.
They don't have to fight these fights. They don't have to come up with these massive endowments and funds to break down. Okay, is this the direction that we want to see the American black male family head this particular direction? Because at the end of the day, we're joint at the hip.
Yeah, we are. That's what they said. That's what the Mohawk Conference said. We're joint at the hip. And
so
if you don't correct them, they'll drag you down with us.
Yes. So, I mean, you're seeing this now in America. I'll give a perfect look at the United Kingdom, right? Just like BGS has brought up, like neoliberalism, right? You see the extraction. They say, oh, you can, after World War II, you can buy a home, you can have the American dream, and now the money's run out.
Okay, after World War II, but guess who couldn't do it after World War II?
Black men.
Black men. Especially black people, right? You couldn't even get your GI Bill until what? 1968, okay? After the Kerner Commission. which is the same thing, which is what, guess who was advocating for? Moynihan.
I guess I think so. To answer the question and to address BGS as well, James, I think for me, I'm looking at things like, I guess maybe more progressively, in the sense that we as people have to start where we are and figure out how to move forward. And understanding the past is fine, but you do have to actually have a plan, and you have to figure out a way to counter, if you need to counter things that are barriers.
Ooh, guess what? Guess when I heard that? I was 19 when I heard that. Okay. Guess what happened in pen in 40 some odd years? Nothing.
Yep.
What do you mean?
Those who don't learn from history.
What you just said produced nothing.
Zero.
Zero.
Zippo. Yep.
Not.
Zero. Zippo. Nada.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking about me. So me as an individual, this is what I'm looking. I'm looking at rugged individualism, pulling oneself.
There's a big problem right there.
Anyway, let her finish. Let her finish. Okay.
What did I say so wrong?
Rugged individual. Where does it exist?
In each and every one of us, we all have
No, it
that
doesn't.
No, it
No, it
doesn't.
doesn't.
I have never heard that terminology in my life.
I have.
I have.
White liberals. White liberals
White
on
liberals
one
do
side.
not say that. White
Hold on.
conservatives.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. White liberals on one side and so-called conservative liberals
on one
on the other
side.
side say the same shit. Okay. They're
On
all
one
liberals.
side, anyway.
Yeah, on
Yo,
both
why you
sides.
put your head down? Was it that bad?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. It was bad.
Because it
It
doesn't
was
exist.
bad.
Because it doesn't exist. Okay.
May, this is like when white folks say pick yourself by your own bootstraps, and they've been socializing so much of their social benefits in so many ways to give them a head start.
When they talk about freaking health care, okay? They don't talk about rugged individualism. I'm gonna just put some ointment on it and keep going. They don't do that shit. It doesn't exist, okay?
The thing
Okay, so
about
let me throw a scenario out. Can I do that? Just throw a quick scenario out.
Make it short, okay?
I'll make it short, very quick. So we have a man, a black man in America who is 25 years old. He hasn't necessarily made all his decisions like as a plan, but he's 25 and he has all the potential in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want that man to study the Moynihan report, worry
Yes.
about all the things that could befall him?
Yes.
Hold on. Or does that young man need to develop a plan for his life and have a structure and make like a real strategy, like a 1-year plan, a 5-year plan, and start taking action in his own life to create the world he wants to be in?
Yeah, he should be aware of how the United States works, okay? Because you go much further if you understand how it works, okay?
May, I will tell you.
Hold on. You asked me a question. Okay? Okay? If you understand how the environment works, you'll go a lot further, a lot faster, okay? In other words, if you read the Moynihan report about education and black male education, especially, you understand how to take advantage of what's in front of you, okay? Because trust and believe, the girls are gonna get the grants before you, okay? Trust and believe, the opportunities won't befall you. So you have to learn how to navigate the structure, okay? So reading this stuff will help you a lot. Believe it or not. I wish I read it when I was a kid, when I was that young.
May, I'll tell you as a millennial, if I didn't fall into this space, I can tell you I would be a victim, hard body, because when you don't understand, or I wouldn't say don't understand, when you're not taught what goes on behind closed doors amongst white folks who mislead black men. And this is where you have this trauma bonding situation where it's like, you see it all the time. You got a successful black brother go to Harvard, he gets into these law firms, he gets fired and it's basically based off discrimination. But in his mind, he's like, hey, I'm a part of his peers. I'm da-da-da. And it becomes a psychological whip. And he's trying to figure out what happened. But again, as BJ said, if you studied the Monahan report and all these things, you'd be like, oh, now I know how these people operate.
In other words, if you read the Monahan report, basically, by the time a man is 25, for the most part, what I'm teaching is probably, for the most part, it's probably too late, okay? Because the structure has already gotten to him. It's time to actually fix him. That's where Mookie comes in, okay? Okay, to actually fix broken men. Go ahead. That's it.
What bothers me about what she just proposed is the fact that that same black man will spend most of his life learning white history and nothing about himself. And this whole thing, I mean, granted, it's important that we know how the system works, but the past, learning about the past informs us in ways that we can't expect, because learning about the past helps us predict the future.
Yeah.
Because there is momentum to the past. I mean, there is no, because the United States doesn't turn on a dime. We know that change often takes decades unless something drastic happens. And this is the same way for every society on the planet. So if this man is just going to, do this whole thing where you're proposing that he builds his life and do all of this other stuff with no foundation, then he's not going to go anywhere, because that past is our foundation.
Yeah. I mean, and basically, if you could look at the motivational speakers, stuff like that, they start with what, Think and Grow Rich, okay, which is what was written in 1910, 1915. Okay, that's the past. It hasn't changed. Okay, most of your motivational speakers, motivational tenets come from the past. Okay, didn't change. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, think about the formation of the United States. You can find all of that stuff in a book that's 6,000 years old.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that's helping, dead secretary. There's stuff that's helping men in family court right now. We actually uncovered the court of tenures, okay, the tenures back, and then the court of chancery in 1840, okay, which is still based on, okay, family court is still based on that.
Yes, the U.S. legal system goes all the way back to the Roman canon.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know that.
I hear y'all, but y'all, I'm just gonna be honest. Y'all worship the Moynihan report for your own reasons. That's fine.
Have you read it?
Let me just.
Have you read it? Have you read it?
You know already.
If you haven't read it, then don't discuss it.
I'm not discussing it.
Yeah.
And we're not worshiping it. We're referencing it.
May I ask you a question?
No, you can't. No, you can't. Things you brought. How many times have you brought up the Moynihan report?
What I was gonna say is,
how many times have you brought up the Moynihan report?
You always you ask me.
How many times have you brought up the Moynihan report?
I bring it up all the time because you constantly talk about it.
You have not read it.
You bring it up.
Take an hour and read it.
Okay, I'll read it. Just for you,
Thank you.
I will read the damn thing.
And then you can bring it up. Okay.
May can I ask you a question?
I'm gonna take notes and I'm gonna send them to
you. Thank you. Okay.
That would be preferable.
Yeah. May I have a question for you?
Yeah, James.
Are you?
Don't be shaking your head like that. You looking all disgusted.
He is disgusted.
Yeah, well, I'm disgusted. I'm just gonna tell you. You can't see my face. I am disgusted because I've heard this stuff from females for the past 20 or so years.
Yeah.
It's the same crap.
Same crap.
May, quick question. Are you Christian, Mormon? What's your religious belief?
I'm a failed Muslim.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right. So let me ask you this:
You're an apostate.
So, and I'm gonna use this as an example. Many times people will read the Quran, the Bible, for many reasons, but they use those contexts as references to help them navigate what is happening in their life at the current moment, or for whatever at the time being may be, right? It is no different how we are trying to study through bullet points, through the Monahan report, Dr. Clark. I mean, there's so many individuals who have brought light into this particular space where we're not being bamboozled, as Malcolm X would say, in so many ways. So this is why, like many men in this space use those reference points as hardliners, because at the end of the day, those were the very few that actually said, you know what, we have a problem. We need to address this. That is the number one thing that I think in our community, we always want to kick the can down the road, or we'll just we're just gonna ignore it. We'll
point
get
of
past it.
reference.
And in other words, okay, say I walk into a doctor's office, right, and I got stage 3 cancer, right? Okay, first thing the doctor is going to try to ascertain, how did I get it? Okay, whatever was the eating, family genetics, environment. How did I get to this point where, in this office where I'm have stage 3 cancer? Right, that's the past. Okay, how the black community has stage 3 cancer? Okay, probably stage 4, but stage 3 cancer, right?
Great analogy.
So the thing is, how do we get here, and how do we fix it? If you don't know how you got it, you can't fix it.
But that's the thing, DJs. I haven't heard what the prescription is.
It sure is. It's real easy. It's not that hard. Okay. Number one, they give you fucking you basically, okay. Black women asked for abortion and birth control back in 1910. Okay.
Oh goodness.
Oh, 1910 they did. Where go back and read where abortion and what's her name started. She started in Harlem. Okay, Harlem is not a white suburb.
BJs, I'm talking about the prescription for self-empowerment for men.
I'm getting ready to tell you. Okay, are you listening or are you talking? Do you know what I'm getting ready to say?
Okay.
Do you know what I'm ready to say? Finish my sentence.
No, I don't. I have no idea.
So why are you talking?
Okay.
Why are you talking?
She got bad credit. That's why
No. Why are you talking?
I'm quiet.
Why are you cutting me off? Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay. First thing is,
hold on.
First thing, one thing pro-blacks have it right. If you're pro-black, okay, you're anti-abortion and anti-feminism. Okay. I can tell you that from the heart. Okay. They don't believe in that shit. Okay. So all this woke shit, the hardcore pro-blacks do not believe in that shit. Okay. That's number one. The thing is, first of all, okay, you have to understand about family formation, the loose family formation that the black community have coming out of slavery. Okay. The reason that my grandmother could have 9 kids by 4 different men is because that is accepted. Okay. That shit was not accepted in the white community. Okay. So the most part, white women still get shamed for doing that bullshit. Okay. For them, low key. Okay. Like in Asia, that's not accepted in Asia. Okay.
No.
So the first thing I can tell you, because I've been to the continent, right? Okay, where we came from. Okay, the job of controlling the woman is not the man's job; it's the freaking woman's job. And the women get on your ass about that shit, just like they used to do in the South. Okay, in the South they used to get on your ass for being loose with your coochie. Okay, they used to get in your ass if you wasn't married.
We're still on women, but I'm listening.
Okay, because the women run this community. Okay, they do.
Oh wow,
they do.
Yep. Yes, they do.
I come from a pro-black pro-black conscious community background. Still in it because I talked to my mentor. She'll tell you the exact same thing I'm saying. Ivana Van Zant will tell you the exact thing I'm saying. Okay, she'll tell you who runs the community. Umar, as much shit as he talks, will tell you the exact same thing. Okay,
he knows. Gynocrat.
Huh?
He's a gynocrat.
Basically, all black people are quote unquote gynocrats. We were raised in it. Okay, we had no choice. Okay, enforced by the black community, but by the by the white police. Okay, trust and believe. They say that black men used to get beat on. I tell you, every other week I have my father in Dallas actually put in the back of the police car to cool his heels over the weekend. Okay, it's always been that way.
I was expecting your answer or response.
Why are you talking?
Man-centered.
Why are you talking? Okay.
She can't help it.
Number one, it had the okay. There's one thing that I forget her name. She said it in their eyes their eyes are watching God. Right, the two freest people in the United States of America are white men and black ones because they do what they want. Okay. They're the one that actually give them the most independence and most freedom in their various communities. So they actually are. You can read it as far back as you want to. That's always been the case. Okay. And the thing is, family formation is not determined by the man in the black community. It's determined by the woman.
Sorry, I was muted, but you're talking about Hurston.
Yeah. It was Hurston? Was it already Hurston?
I think it was Hurston. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it probably was. Okay. And
yeah.
And the thing is, even now, basically, if you include marriage, right, 80 to 90% of black men or black children are raised by black women. Okay.
Not talk yet. just to say something?
No, you can't talk yet.
No.
You asked me a question, okay? And unless you got something really good that I need to hear instead of the bullshit you've been pulling on me, okay?
I just want to ask you, what do the men need to
Yeah,
do?
exactly. That's why I told you to save it, okay?
Okay.
Let me finish, okay? You got to start where the root of the problem is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Got to start where the root of the problem is, okay? If you really, the easiest way to fix the black community, and the men we're all on board with this, the women get out the fucking way, okay? Is number one, every black woman, okay, that has a kid, especially, should give that child to their father. That's the first thing that should happen, okay? Here,
Yep.
Especially if it's a boy. Hey, it's a boy. After he gets like 5 years old, after 10 years doctor, give him to the father, okay? Let him raise the kid, okay? And they found out that a father-raised kid does as well as a two-parent household. That's stat,
Exactly.
okay?
That's facts.
Mm-hmm.
Give the kid to his father. Second thing is you really want to improve the black community in the shortest period of time possible, okay? Just like I did with my grandson when he was 3, right? Okay, my grandson was 3 years old. He studied an hour and a half a day. Okay, by the time he was 7, until the females in the family started interfering, he was studying 2.5 hours a day. Okay, the boy learned how to read and write at 3 years old. Okay, he was well ahead of his peers. Okay, until the women started getting in because it's too hard and you need to have more fun and yada 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 yada. Okay. If you just do those two, and the third thing is, which is something that Moynihan talked about and Clark talked about, right? Because of the feminized black community and the feminized schooling system, okay, you need to give black boys their own separate educational system. Okay, you do those three things. One, you get a better community. 2, you get a rapid improvement of culture, and 3, you get much better men because women will not have any say so in it. Okay, because black women. That's why I called it Mrs. White Woman. So I played what's his name about black women holding a rolling pin. Black women refuse to give up power. In the 1970s, after the civil rights, black men said, y'all need to step back and let us take the lead. And guess what black women decided? Well, rather than give it to you, polymorph this shit. Rather than give it to you, even though you fought, died, and bled for it, okay?
Just what I hear you saying.
Ain't your time to talk. You ask me a goddamn question, you're gonna listen to it, okay?
I got you.
What happened? Go back and actually proved it. Go back and listen to what Polly Murray said in 1963. Her and Eleanor Roosevelt. Okay, that's where second wave feminism actually came from. That's where intersectional feminism came from. So all this shit come out of those two people, right? And Polly Murray said her own mouth, okay, it would be better to give this stuff to white women because they thought white women could change the venue faster than black people could. Second thing is, Polly Murray and black women and white women did not want black men have rights that they thought they couldn't have.
Yes.
83% of go look at Tim Wise is a sisterhood consensual. He said 83% of affirmative action go to white women. Why is that? Okay. White women didn't work for that shit. They didn't fight for that shit. It wasn't for them. Okay. It wasn't for them. That's why if you actually looked at the video I did when 106,000 black women lost their jobs in April, okay, because of DEI, okay, you'd have known what I was talking about. That's how come Trump wiped all that shit out, okay, because all that shit DEI came from Johnson on forward, right? All this through executive orders, okay. That's why he wiped them all out. Let's go back to the law. And guess what happened? Okay, well, black women lost 300,000 jobs. Guess who gained 100 some odd thousand jobs? Black men. I was telling them that I had told them that back in January when they actually wiped out DEI. I said I actually played this. This is why I played this. How
did black men get those jobs?
Huh?
How do you figure those black men got those same jobs?
You're smart. What do you think?
Most places have been laid.
Sauce for the goose, Mr. Savick. the odds will be even.
How do you think?
They've been laying people off and have hiring freezes.
In other words, okay, there's two things that happen since Trump has been in office, right? That caused black men to get more jobs. What do you think they were?
He's only been in 60 days. I don't know.
No, he's been in 6 months, about 6 months.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
6
yeah,
months.
a little bit
Well,
over.
I mean, I know you're not a
missed
mathematical genius, but I think you can count. Okay.
I made a mistake.
No, you
I
didn't.
missed 6 months. No, he came in January.
And what
we're in June.
what month is this?
What?
What month is this?
Yeah, we halfway through June.
60 days? Come on
Yeah,
now.
come on,
I said I misspoke. I didn't mean 60 days. I misspoke. Jeez, y'all just
you're in the male space, okay?
I didn't mean 60 days. I misspoke.
You're in the male space. You gonna get your balls busted in the male space.
Exactly.
Get used to it. Stop crying. Stop
I mean,
crying. Stop crying.
She came over here laying her dick all over the table. Now she's scared.
Oh no, my God! I misspoke. Oh my goodness. Okay, what? Again, answer my question. What are 2 reasons? Since you're so smart.
Why are you always on this smart and intellectual?
Because you pretend to be. Because you're always complaining about me. You're always complaining about what I am.
I got degrees and all you Negroes on this whole panel.
And what does that mean? My daughters do too. So what?
And
that's what I'm asking you, and
I write their papers. So what?
Please stop.
And they write their papers. My sister has a master's degree. I wrote her
I'm just
papers.
saying, nobody's in a position to be trying to judge nobody.
Yes, we are. And we are in the best position to judge.
With your degrees.
You haven't ran the gauntlet, sir.
With your degrees.
I'm just saying, you're not in a position.
With your degrees.
I was actually an educator, and I actually evaluated people.
Sign language.
With your degrees.
There you are.
What's the answer that I'm asking you?
Let's just stick to the thing, and I'm just saying this.
Say I don't know.
About what?
The question I asked. What are 2 reasons you asked me? How come black men got all these jobs? Okay, give me your answer.
You're saying in the last 6 months that these black women lost these jobs, and because of that, all these black men got those jobs.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
No.
I said never mind. There's 2 reasons. There's 2 reasons. Say you don't know.
You made it like it was a
say you don't know.
Type of thing.
Say you don't know. Say you don't know.
One did not have anything to
say
do with
you don't know.
It's not about any question.
Say you don't know. Say you don't know. Say you don't know.
These women had lost their jobs, and as a result, you made it sound like.
What question did you ask me? What question? Stop deflecting. Stop deflecting. Say you don't know.
Charles, stop deflecting.
Say you don't know.
There's no deflection here.
Say you don't know.
What you sounded like you were
saying.
Say
you don't know. Say BGS. I do not know the answer.
6 months. There's no connection between black women losing their jobs and black men gaining them. Understood.
Please.
No, say you don't know.
Yeah.
Really, one of those reasons began with an I.
I asked him the question.
Yeah. And basically is want to give me the answer. You kept running your mouth. Say you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Did black men
say
actually
you don't know?
Those women
say you don't know.
Jobs? No, they didn't.
Say you don't know.
Government jobs.
Say you don't know.
It's just the whole thing. You just love
say you don't know.
Somebody with
say you don't know.
That only you have and
say
nobody
you don't
else
know.
knows the answer.
Say you don't know.
You got it. Just tell me.
No, they know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what he's talking about.
Okay. Basically, only black women lost 9,000 jobs that were actually government jobs. Okay,
I said that.
Only 9,000. Okay, where the rest of them come from? Automation in private business, especially pushing paperwork, right? Okay, those are DEI jobs. Number one, mostly held by who? 80% by who? White women. The other 10% are gay, LGBTQ white people. Okay, black people only got 5% of DEI jobs. Okay. So number one, if you cut those jobs, then white men and black men will actually replace these people. That's number one. Okay. Number two, okay, most black men, okay, have blue collar or working class jobs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Who are their competition? You can answer, or I can give you the competition, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Migrants,
in Latinos.
and
Exactly.
guess who is getting pushed out of the country right now?
Mm-hmm.
Latinos.
And guess who doesn't do those jobs that Latinos did? White women and black women.
Yeah, I'm not finna do none of that. None of it.
Exactly. Thus, guess who gained by
All right, there we go. Black men.
shut up for a second, okay?
You just asked me and I answered.
No, no,
God,
no, 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 no,
you're
no, no,
old
no.
mean. You just mean.
I am old and I am mean because I had daughters with mouths like yours.
Mhm.
Hush, because you talk too much. You don't
Let
know
me put
shit.
on mute then. Damn.
Yeah, please.
That's the reason why she ain't a Muslim no more, because they made her go sit in the women's
Yeah,
section and shut up.
Yep.
Be silent, woman.
Mhm.
I did.
Be silent, woman.
And Muhammad, like, man, we gotta get her back to send her back to the
Yeah,
states.
send her back to send her back to where to
Oh,
women's
thank
training
you.
again, right?
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for letting me up. Oh, I was so ready to eat the hug.
In other
What's
words,
good, BGS?
but had you looked at the video instead of the title, you'd have known
I
that.
couldn't
'Cause
take it, BJ. I
Shut up.
The need to be right is strong with
wrong
this
with
one.
this one? I know it is. Okay, she can't help it. Okay.
I need to be right. No, bitch, listen.
Calm down.
Yeah, dude, there ain't no need for all of
Yeah,
that.
they ain't gonna need for all that.
I ain't gonna call it that, even though
You don't. We don't use that on my channel. Okay.
All right.
no need, no
You
need.
can, there's a whole lot of things that you can say, and I use it sometimes, but very rarely. Okay. And there's no need for that. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Had you looked at the video completely, whether you like it or not, you'll learn something because it wasn't about black women. It's about DEI and black men. Why? Because I wanted to tell them, because they were up in arms about DEI. Oh, we're gonna lose jobs. Oh, it's gonna be bad for black men with DEI and all this yada yada yada. I said, no, it won't.
I heard that part.
4 months later, guess what happens? Okay, everything that I said came to pass because I knew what he was doing. All right, okay. Even though you wouldn't get a leg up, guess what? You're not gonna get a leg down because white women and black women are actually in front of you. Okay.
Man, I see more females on TikTok going crazy right now.
Yeah, losing their
Yeah.
jobs. Silicon Valley loves it, man, because they had a lot of DEI jobs. So a lot of black techie guys getting jobs because they actually do stuff.
Yeah.
They don't have to contend with the bull crap no more.
They don't have to worry about Becky taking them space, pushing paper, and doing their nails. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, the bottom line is that women make.
Do y'all take any pleasure at all in women losing their jobs?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. For 60 years, y'all been running them up. 60 years. 60 years, you've been running them up. We are so happy. So happy.
I personally do. I personally do not care. I got 2 daughters. I don't really care one way or the other. Okay. I teach my daughters to be the fastest camper. Okay. That's why
I love you.
Yeah, I mean, some of y'all, if y'all have daughters,
I do have a daughter.
No, and don't even try the guilt trip game, sister. Don't even try.
I would say
this. Guilt trip. I just said if y'all have daughters, it's something to think about.
No, you don't understand. You don't understand. The point is this. A dependent woman, which you are a dependent woman, I don't care how independent you think you are, you are dependent on the efforts of men in this society. So if my daughter gets with a man and she depends on that man, then she is doing precisely what she is supposed to do for her safety, for her children, and her future.
Yep.
That's how that works.
That's how it works. That's how it works around the world.
Now, I would say this in regards to the question, if anybody's pleased. I don't make broadcasts about people losing jobs personally on my channel. But I would say this: if you do lose it, there's always had to be precautious and be proactive of what if to come. And this message has been going around for years now, maybe.
Yeah.
And the problem is people wait until the fire gets too much that they get burned, instead of anticipating what we're gonna do to out any fires that's coming on the way.
You know, the funniest thing is I was looking at, I think it was somebody wrote it, Tomasi, right? They had 2 white women that actually knew Kevin Samuels actually praising him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Praising him, okay? Saying how nice he was, how compassionate he was, how helpful he was, blah, 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 which that's the guy that I know, okay? How considerate he actually was. Yes, Kevin actually loved black women, believe it or not. He was glad.
Yeah.
He
He
was
loved him.
he was hurt.
Yeah.
He was hurt.
I don't know
Okay.
about that.
Why do you think he drank so many Red Bulls just to deal with
I-
y'all?
you don't know about it because you didn't know him, okay? Because I knew him. Okay. The mix and the mix had like 600 or 700 guys that actually earned 6 figures or more, right? Okay.
Mhm.
And he wanted them to have black wives, okay? That's why
Right.
he started talking to black women. He wanted them to have black, because Maria and Becky and Sanglu were actually hunting them folks down, okay?
Yep.
But he insisted. He used to actually turn away white women. They used to come to his show. He said, "I'm here because I want to have black families, and I want the best of my sisters to be with the best of my men." That's what he wanted. Okay.
That man was a patron saint, and y'all dogged the crap out of him because you could not take constructive criticism and the truth. Period. Point blank.
You sound angry.
No,
the guy
I
with
sound like I'm giving you the truth. You just don't like the format it's coming.
And guess what? Guess what AL has? He has a what?
I
He has
don't
a
know.
daughter. He's got a daughter.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And I've been married.
I was curious. The guy with the mouse avatar here, he said he is taking pleasure in women losing their jobs. Would you mind sharing why?
I said I'm taking pleasure
Hey! You
Oh,
talking about it? That's it.
You talking about me?
Right.
I did tell you why earlier.
Yeah.
It was about-
Tell it again. She it takes like 3 times for me.
I got
Okay.
ADHD. Okay, fuck it. I got ADHD.
Oh,
that's
that's
a
bad.
you problem.
That's bad for women. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the issue, because, and I'm just going to be succinct. No matter how independent women think that they are today in Western society, they are still dependent on men, because men are the ones who keep this whole thing running. So when it comes to my daughter and her being dependent on somebody, that is much preferable to the alternative, which is the feminism stuff that we have going right now, because it is important for her safety, it is important for her future, and it's important for whatever children that she's going to have. So dependence is not a bad thing. In fact, dependence is a great thing, because all of us on this panel live in an interdependent state. We depend on the society that depends on the labor of other men.
I heard that part. I heard that, and I remember you saying that. But what I'm saying, you said you take pleasure, and I'm trying to figure out,
do.
What is it that makes you happy? Because that doesn't connect.
Because let me go ahead and give it to you straight. The women's liberation or feminist failure today is also their success, provided they go back to the natural way of doing things. And that's, understanding their dependence on men.
Okay, so you're hoping that they get committed to men because they don't have jobs.
No,
they don't have a choice.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to get you. They don't have a choice.
Man, you have sisters living in storage units.
Choosing not to pay
it. You have women choosing to live in a storage unit, still go on dates, go back and say like this is normal, versus actually trying to be with a man and say, you know what, I could lose my health, I can get sick. I mean, this is insanity.
Yeah,
maybe some women aren't wife material. Maybe that's why they're doing that.
Because they never. Most women.
Yeah, you might be right.
Most modern women are not wife material.
Exactly. They weren't trained to be. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised that that's what they do. They grew up in a household without a father. He was absent, and so they don't see the need.
But man, at the end
of when will they actually see the need? Man.
Yes.
Hold on.
No. I think men can be objectified.
May, what question did I just ask you?
You asked me at what point they will.
Yes.
And I'm thinking that if they get desperate, they will be objectifying
if
men.
they get desperate,
they'll objectify men.
They'll not objectify, work with.
I don't
think so.
Exactly.
Work with.
Black women have never objectified black men in history, ever.
Yeah, they do,
They
because
don't. No, they don't.
the idea that you need to provide, that's what Kevin Samuels
No, no, no.
complains about all the time.
That
He
you
said that
need to.
women want to look at money and income and hypergamy.
That's not objectifying.
Well,
Basically,
that's
that,
objectification to me, because I think people are
oh, to you,
human.
to
Yeah,
you,
to
okay?
me.
To you. Okay.
That's not an objective
Ma-
Yeah,
definition of
I
May,
objectification.
That's
I
it's,
think that's
may,
objectification.
it's just like a whole, objectifies the trick. Okay.
You don't see
yeah.
the individual man as the value in and of himself, and
Yes.
that's worth being with.
Uh,
It's about what he can
Oh,
do. He's a
he,
provider, and that's it.
he's a work.
be,
That's
He's a
objectification.
workhorse. So the thing is, cooperate with him. Get on his program because she has to.
BGS, can I ask you a question?
Which is all black men really want for the most part. Go ahead.
BGS, and many of you brothers on this panel may have nephews, uh, young children, who are, let's say, in their 20s getting into dating.
Mm-hmm.
Can you all agree that the amount of pressure for a young man to interact with a woman is astronomical?
No, not
To
anymore.
the point,
Not anymore.
no, I'm just saying, in the sense of, if he were if he were to engage with a modern day young woman now
Mm-hmm.
compared to 10, 15 years ago, because of the simple fact that 90%, my nephews tell me all the time, they
Mm-hmm.
be like, Unc, man, I don't want to deal with these chicks anymore. I say,
Exactly.
why? Because man, they want this, they want that. I need to be doing this. I said,
Yeah.
you only 20 years.
And I just did a video saying have black men voted for the couch. Basically, I could tell you, okay, I don't blame boys for not dating. Dating's not fun anymore. Okay,
No,
No,
it's not.
it's not.
dating's supposed to be pleasurable and fun. It's not fun. It's like going on a job interview. It's not fun. Oh, you gotta spend $200 on me. You gotta do this. You gotta do. Men don't want to hear that. You know what? Guess what? I got a PlayStation, GTA
Xbox.
6, Xbox GTA 6 costs $75. Okay, and I can get how many
We're
hours
hoping.
out of this? Okay,
Mhm.
I don't need all that. Basically, that's why that's how come I became monk at 50. Okay, in my 50 at 54 because of that kind of BS. I said I was done with it. Okay. Done with it. I don't want all that emotional labor that black women demand off of you. I got tired of that shit. Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Got to take them out. Got to make them have fun. Got to listen to the goddamn problems. Got to make them have orgasm. All kind of shit, man. You know what?
We got to have them on panels and talk to them.
And on top of that, it never stops. Okay.
It never stops.
And when I step back and look and see, you know what? I've been doing this shit since I was 11 years old, man. I'm tired.
Mhm.
And they looking at the next man. Oh, he look better.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can go.
It's not okay. How you look, how you dress, how you talk, how much money you have, how much you spend, how good your dick is, blah 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 blah, on down the line. Okay, and the thing is, what do you get? Okay, because I used to ask all my girls, man, especially the ones that are serious with. Okay, all right, they want this, and this. Okay, what do I get out of the deal? And they look at you like funny, like,
You get me.
you get me,
Yeah.
and I'm a hardcore Gemini, right? What does that mean when you get me?
You get a headache.
Get a
Anyway.
headache. Yeah.
Mhm.
BGS, when you were talking on that stream, I listened to it.
Which
I
stream is that?
listened to the whole thing about dating. That's what you said, dating.
Voting for the couch? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The couch.
So what did you get out of it?
You heard what I said, maybe on Big
I didn't
Daddy.
hear what you. I didn't hear what
Okay,
you
well,
said. I mean, I just did it. I just put it up yesterday. So how could you hear it? Did you hear it from?
I listened to it this morning,
Okay.
and I heard something personal from you. You said something about you used to like to date, and you didn't even want to have sex. You just want to hold a woman.
Okay. I mean, okay, May. I know it's hard for you to actually comprehend what I said. Okay.
Here
Back
you go. You
no.
can't just talk to me without.
No. In other words, basically, you bring up stuff you would actually not understanding what I meant. I actually said what I meant. I said back then, okay, it didn't take very much. Like I said, going on a date, getting an ice cream, sitting in the park, playing Scrabble games. Then take all that stuff.
I heard
Okay?
that.
Okay. And I
That's
said
the context of what you mean.
and sometimes just holding her
Yeah.
gave me immense pleasure. Just being with holding her. Okay.
Yes.
Without sex, without all this stuff. In other
Right.
words, all this other stuff they pile up on top of dating is unnecessary.
Yeah, sex is messy.
I mean, what's
Yes.
Oh, really?
okay? I learned about black women and sex. Okay, I learned that, man. I had to learn that the hard way, okay, about black women and sex. Okay,
That is nasty.
but black women don't see sex the way other women see sex. Basically, other women see sex as something they have to give the man, right? Black women see something that men have to give them.
Yeah.
Well, what I was saying about that stream, it just seems to me, BGS, I don't know, it just it humanized, the stream humanized you to me, very much so.
Mm.
And I just see you as like an old school player, and I just see you with like a nice lady. I don't know. That's how I'm seeing it. And I feel like that's,
You got burned out. That's me.
I've had very nice women. I've had, I've gone through the gauntlet. I've had pregnancy scares. I had a whole bunch of shit. I got 3 kids, okay, and a hard-headed baby mama. That's why we didn't make it, okay.
I don't know. I see you as like, jazz concerts with the linen on.
We should do that shit. We should do
Enjoying a nice
my thing is go to a nice club, okay, nice jazz club, or where they playing jazz, okay.
Right.
$20 entree. Sit down, listen to some music, have a couple of drinks if that's what you want. Get a couple of appetizers, have a good time, and sit there and vibe, okay. Don't need this $200, $300 restaurant, okay.
I agree.
So May, I'll give you a perfect example. This, and Theo and many of the men can attest to this. When the passport brothers, the guys that go overseas, they experience what BGS experienced 20 years ago now.
Right.
Yeah,
I experienced that with my first wife.
Fundamental difference.
I've seen it. I've seen in Guatemala, the boys they go to the store, they get a liter Pepsi or Coke, okay. They get a pizza, they sit down in the park and they eat it with their girl, and that's a date.
And he's doing that because they just want to simply get to know each other. He's not doing that because he's broke, correct?
He basically, okay. The thing is, what you have to understand about men, I'm gonna explain it to you, okay. It's the obvious of being around a woman. Getting to know her is, you have to get to know her is just to understand who she is, know how to deal with her, okay. Getting to know her. The ambience that she brings is what men actually want, okay. Because women, for the most part, if you think about it, and I said this, okay, most women are actually boring, okay.
Absolutely.
For the most part, most women have 2 or 3 things they like to do, and that's it. Most women are actually boring. Okay. But the thing is, her presence is what she brings. Okay. As far as dating is concerned, after that, then the regular family shit. Okay, because you're investing into a family, not into a woman. I tell men that all the time. Okay, about getting married. Okay, men do not work for the woman; they invest in their family. So that's why they're willing to put in all these hours and 90% of their pay, because it's not about her; it's about the family that he wants to build. That's it. Can tell you that, okay? The money's going to the family that you want to build, not into the woman. Because actually, I came up during the crack era. Sex is cheap, okay? I came up a time where the box is like $5, okay? Whereas the date is going to cost you $25, $30. The box is $5. I used to tell chicks, I can get the same thing on the corner for $5, and she's probably going to be better than you.
Now tell her the truth, Pete. Tell her the truth,
I'm not dating you to go to bed with you. I'm dating you for you actually be with me. Okay.
Yes.
If you can't do that, okay. You trying to make this transactional. We can stop right now. Okay. I'm not buying. I'm not gonna. And I had a very beautiful woman. I'm not buying your sex. If that's what you want, you need to go find you another man. Okay. Find your trick, because when I trick, I don't spend a lot of money when I trick. Okay. And when I date, I don't trick, okay?
But tell her the truth, BJ. Give her that black pill. Let her know how much the cost of pussy is costing now.
See, the thing is, that's too much for her, okay? That's too much.
But to support.
That's too much. The coffee girl, that's too much for her. But that's where it's headed. I've been warning women that's where it's headed in the first place.
Man,
Okay?
To reinforce what BGS is saying, because Ron Wills talks about this too, and I've been around the block a couple of times. And the thing is, it's like this, man. We like just like the ambiance. It's just like sort of like having sex. All of the fun in sex is the build up. Man, once you nut, it's done. But that all day foreplay type of thing, just being close to her, just taking in what she is, and she's got to present in such a way that we find that attractive, and then it leads to the sex, and and the sex is also that build up. That's just icing on the cake.
Yeah. Women in their mind, in their limited thinking, they think that ultimately sex is transactional. Okay, and that's the worst way to actually do things. Because once men get in their minds that sex is transactional, okay, then
switch goes on.
It will flip the whole game. Okay, in other words,
switch.
In other words, okay, how much is this costing me? Okay. No, I want to pay that. Okay, wait a minute. Let me go shop at the discount rack. See what I need. Okay.
Yeah, because most guys are not marrying women for the sex, because most of the time the sex is just average anyway.
Yeah, it is.
So is the goal to look for women who do not seek transactional relationships?
Well, the thing is,
I'm asking.
Which is why they hate the manosphere, right? Because feminism has socialized men into that transactional sex is the goal, right? So you're supposed to pay. Every woman that you meet is her vagina is worth $200-$300. Okay, as you're socialized, and which why they hate me. I say that's bullshit. Okay, because I know I've been there. I know it's bullshit. Okay.
And May, I'm telling you right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, BJ. Who's going?
No, that's why the passport bros, okay, have opened up the whole world. Basically, I tell a black man, there's 4 billion women on the planet.
BGS, please. They're more transactional than anybody.
Whoa. Okay.
May, it's true though.
May.
Okay.
What do you say about cutting people off?
I'll be quiet.
Thank you. Okay. Open up the whole world. There's 4 billion women on the planet. Now, transactional. Now go.
BGS, they're way more transactional. The passport bros are very transactional.
Okay.
I have watched them.
I got this. Okay. The women are way more transactional, right? Okay. Granted.
The men.
Even no. Guess what? If the men could get it for free as the passport bro, guess what they would do?
We feel pain.
No. Hold on a second. If the men could actually go to a foreign country and get it for free without paying, guess what they would do?
If they could go get it for free?
Yes.
You think they're not gonna get it?
Oh no. Okay. What color crayon do you like, man?
Brown.
Okay, brown crayon, right? Okay. I'm gonna save this slowly. Now concentrate on ADHD, right? Okay. If passport bros could go abroad and get pussy for free, would they pay for it?
No.
Okay. So in other words, women are transactional, right? When you go abroad, it's transactional, right? Right? Are you with me?
It's extremely transactional, yeah.
Okay. But thing is, okay, in the United States, okay, what would it cost to actually do the transaction in the United States?
Same shit, just
$200, $200, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's cheap over there. Yeah.
In other words, basically, say I go to Mombasa, or I go to Ghana, or say I go to Colombia, right? It's going to cost me what? $20. $20. No, not 50 cents. Not quite that cheap, but yeah, $20. Okay, for the same thing, right? And guess what? I'm not going to get a 5. I'm going to get a 10. I'm going to get a 9 or 10.
We're moving our production overseas.
All of that is very transactional. That's all I'm saying. It's extremely
transactional.
Okay, when you go shop, you actually do business, right, man? You have to buy shit, right?
Yo,
no. You have to buy stuff, right? Okay.
True.
So when you go shopping, do you shop for the best price? Will you pay? Would you pay 10 times the amount for the same product?
See this. No.
Stay with me.
We're talking economics.
Not.
I'm not going to pay way more than what something's worth. But these are people.
Transaction means what? Economics, right? You're making a transaction, right? That's economics, right?
Right.
Am I
And the
correct?
trade.
I get it.
Man,
Hold on. I got this. Okay.
no.
Okay. So in other words, everybody keeps saying you're tricking. Okay.
There we go.
Everybody says passport bros are going overseas and tricking, right? Okay. To fly a chick into your state, minimum is $2,500, which you're gonna be with for that weekend or for that week, right? $2,500, right? Okay. If you fly to the DR or fly to Colombia or fly someplace else, right? You can get a trip, get a hotel, get a high class chick for half that. Why would I fly?
Get 10 women in one weekend.
You probably can if you're in the right place. Okay, depend on the quality of the women. The thing is, so why, if it's transactional, that a lot of women actually demanded to be transactional, why would I waste my time here?
I'm glad you did this. I'm glad you said this because that's what I was gonna say to you earlier when I came in. Remember the question I asked you?
No.
Are y'all family oriented? Are you promoting family oriented manhood or free agent?
Okay.
And this is the
Yeah,
but it's not either or.
Transactional, but you got dudes that are let me just finish. Y'all got dudes that are being transactional as a lifestyle, like Otheo here. They're gonna just pay for women over and over again, and they're gonna have lots of
me?
Hold on. Are the women in the United States, are the women in the United States transactional?
What I'm talking about, are we
are the women in the United States transactional?
Every woman
are the women in the United States transactional?
Yes, sir. No? We can be accused of that.
No, you are. You guys say it, okay? In public, you say it all the time, right? You're transactional, okay? So in other words, if because I got boomer sisters, right? Okay.
My question is family or
I'm talking right now, okay?
Okay.
I got boomer sisters, right? They weren't trained to be fucking wives, okay? When I came up, the wife training was slipping then, right? It's gone now. Why would I look for a wife in the United States when there aren't any?
There are.
Where?
Man, I'm a millennial.
Where?
I'm telling you straight up. If you can tell me where, as a millennial, please tell me. And I travel all through these states. I don't see none of that shit running around.
And also, on top of that, May, what part of life do you think is not transactional? Everything that we do is transactional. Even including having a wife, because I do not want a wife who doesn't act like a wife. The transaction is to be my wife. I expect certain things from you, and for me to be her husband, she expects certain things from me. That is a trade. That is a transaction.
I agree.
Everything that we do is a transaction.
I agree, but all I'm saying is that a lot of times the passport bros, they are actually entering into nothing but a series of different women with different transactions.
Doesn't matter. No, doesn't matter.
Most passport bros.
Y'all say you want family-oriented men who stand by and do all these things, but you can't do that.
Man, you can get that overseas.
Y'all not gonna connect with them.
No, because you're not a man and you ain't making no sense.
Yeah. Okay. And basically, okay. Guess where the wives are still trained?
Overseas.
Exactly.
Mamas already 70%.
And they still can hold a household.
Even the ones that are baby mamas overseas, like Latin America, okay. Guess what they still are? They're trained to be what?
We had this argument.
I'm talking, okay? Guess what they still are trained to be?
A wife waits for her husband.
No. Guess what they're still trained to be, okay? Wives are trained to take care of a household. Why? Trust and believe. Why do you think my son only dates Latinos?
We disagree there.
You don't have to. You can if you want to. I know better.
Disagree. I think I think a wife is somebody who doesn't have children before she's married. That's me.
No,
that's some bullshit.
No.
Really? You think that women who are wife material, they have lots of children before they're married?
They
really?
can.
They can
have it all. Yes.
Man,
What I mean, what about a young widow? Do you think she's less?
yeah. My mother was a young widow.
Yeah. When do you
Nobody
start?
saying about a widow.
When do you start training a girl to be a wife? Man,
This is just.
nah, I want to hear that. Stop whining. When do you start training a girl to be a wife?
I think you're born into a family where that.
No.
Yeah, you're born into a family where that's
You
expected.
know what? I saw it because I could tell you. Okay. Even though I saw it. Okay. The Latina girl.
You tell me the tea party. Right?
The tea set, right? Okay.
Yeah, you told me about it.
And I said, why did she's a year old? Why are you teaching her that? Right? She has to learn how to set a table. Okay.
Yeah.
She has to go through wife training. My mother said exactly the same thing. Even though she's a sharecropper, okay, her grandmother taught her how to cook and take care of a house. Okay, and she was 10. Okay, she was 9. Even though she had to go out and pick cotton. Okay, she was trained to do that. My mother is even when she doesn't want to do. My mother cannot stand a dirty house. Okay, she cannot stand food not cooked. Okay, she can't stand it because she was trained that way. Okay, had nothing to do with my father. Okay, nothing.
And at the same time, like back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s,
Yeah.
we had the entire industry was focused on women becoming wives because we had the easy bake ovens for the little girls. We had all of these toys that they would play with that trained them to become wives, and the boys they would roughhouse, and that trained them to become mostly soldiers and men who could fight.
Men could fight, men could build because you got a song
And build. Yes, you had to.
all kind of stuff there. You were trained. You were trained to be a husband. Okay, it was training. Okay, I saw it in Guatemala. Me and Willie Peak went back and forth with this for a long time, right? Until he actually saw with the passport bros, right? I saw more respect.
Yep.
A man got more respect from his wife by training, even though he lived in a freaking tin shack with no windows. Okay.
Yep. He just, I'm telling you, I've seen it in my own, in Haiti. All my uncles, work in the fields, going out in the city. They got more respect from the women that they are with now than the shit I see in America. A man can pay a mortgage, car notes, help with student loans, still sleep on the couch, still not get no sex.
Michelle
Modern man.
Michelle Obama.
Modern men.
Michelle Obama. Yep.
Has nothing to do with what we're saying, man.
I don't know if y'all are modern men. Y'all not talking about 1940s.
No. I'm a millennial, and I'm telling you,
men for the most part, have not changed. For the most part.
So you saying y'all traditional?
I mean,
it's y'all who aren't traditional, man. Women are not traditional. Well, you haven't been traditional since
the demands of manhood, okay, have not changed.
Exactly.
What a black man?
Are y'all traditional men or modern men?
Men have not changed, okay? Men ain't changed. I talked to thousands of men. Men ain't changed, okay? They haven't.
Food, sex, and peace.
Basically, most men that I talk to, even the younger ones, even the teenagers, right? Okay, in their mind, they're trained to take care of a family. They have to go out and work, and they have to take care of a woman, take care of a family. Okay, now they've been taught to instead of taking care of a wife, they have to take care of a girlfriend.
Yep,
like a girlfriend's supposed to be your wife, which she's not.
And that's where it's dangerous.
I ask because y'all love to use that term modern women, like as if y'all are not modern men.
Because modern women do. I mean, here's the deal, May. The thing, men have been doing the same thing for hundreds of thousands of years, and that thing is to take care of that woman because she could not exist on her own prior to modern. Now, the modern woman, she doesn't really need a man up over her. She needs the systems that men build to sustain her. That's what makes her a modern woman. But the thing with men is that men have to continue to maintain these things that modern women depend on.
Otherwise, you won't have it.
Otherwise, you won't have it. That's the reason why men just haven't changed.
Yeah.
I want to say this. To contradict your whole thing that passport bro, the whole passport bro thing is transactional. My last trip overseas was and there's multiple stories, but I went to Amsterdam. I stayed with a girl I was talking to for free. She fed me, paid for a lot of my meals, and paid for like my bus pass to get around. Not look for anything in return. Then I had dinner with her family, and her family took me out and not have anything returned. That was the most non-transactional occurrence I had in years. I didn't have to pay anything. I've been to paying for stuff because I enjoyed everything, and they were good people. Even in South America, this one Colombian girl I was at paid for my taxi to get home and make sure I was safe, and invited me to her family function. She didn't know me from nothing. So to say that everybody's transaction when they go overseas, everybody's trip overseas is transactional, that's BS. You can find genuine people over there way quicker than the United States. So that's
it's very easy to do. So when I go out, when I'm abroad, especially I'm there for an extended period of time. Of course, I'm classist, so I'm only dating upper middle class women and above. This is the way it is, and they can pay for their own parts. They're self-sufficient. They do not need a man's money in that way, right? So again, when I was with my fiance, who became my wife before, in the beginning I paid for the dates, but then as time went on, we kind of just would bounce back and forth between each other, just the way it was. And so she'd plan a date in some degree, and sometimes I'd plan a date, or just we were thinking about a relationship going towards marriage. There wasn't any, like, she never asked me to pay her rent. Well, she had $30,000 in savings. Why would she need me to pay her rent? Right? She already had a job. She had a master's degree. Right? She was well established. She didn't need. So I made more money than her. I made twice as much money, and then when we got married, I was at 4 times her salary. Didn't matter. There was no transactional relationship between us at all.
I admire that, but most passport bros, be honest, Theo, most passport bros, they go for broker women, uneducated women who don't have money.
No, they don't.
Actually, I prefer them that way.
Well, let's go there. Let's go there.
You just had 2 passport bros tell you something different on one panel. Just 2.
Yeah. But let's entertain that. So what if these guys deal with women that's more affordable overseas and they're less educated? At least they found someone that's compatible and is on their program.
And they get what they want.
And the question asks why they can't find it here in America. And there's a lot of women that's broke.
There's a lot of broke women here in America too. That's true.
And the question is simple. Because they
culture.
The thing is, this is something I say, and passport bros have borne it out because they've traveled and they've interacted with other women, right? Okay, black men are the most egalitarian, easygoing, easy to get along with group of men on the planet. Okay, on the planet. Okay, because I've asked women from Asia to Latin America to Africa, they all say the same thing. Guess who they don't say that about? Black women.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Black American women are hard to get along with. That's what they say. They say the same thing. African women say black women in America are mean.
And when it comes to this whole the educated thing, both my ex-wives are educated. My first one was working on her PhD when we divorced. My second one was on her master's when we divorced. And believe me, I want a dumbass, damn near retarded woman now.
Wow.
I mean, if she got Down syndromes, that's a plus.
Think about what he's saying before you
That's why I call educated women 92s. You have to have a reason to have
what
them.
would Maggie say?
Hey, this had.
Oh, I can tell you. I know what Maggie was because I talked to Maggie. Maggie would agree with me.
Oh.
Maggie, because Maggie, believe it or not, the job she does is as a psychiatrist. She actually deals with indigent black men. Okay, that's her job. Okay, all she deals with is black men in her work. Okay, that's why she knows them so well. Okay. And she would tell you the exact same thing that I'm telling you. Okay.
So,
I'm sorry,
man,
real quick. Can I ask who the mouse? What's your name with the mouse?
Dead set anime.
I'm dead set anime.
Dead set
That's
anime.
it.
Okay, I definitely gotta watch out for you. You are
man,
funny.
man,
Yes.
Gotta
Funny.
watch
man,
that.
I got a question for you.
Okay. I
Yeah,
need a
yeah.
Man, so, man,
goat herder.
my thing is, when you say these brothers go overseas and date uneducated women,
He
and
doesn't know.
you know, right, and all this hoopla, what's it? And I've seen the counter arguments from the international women
Mm-hmm.
because this false perception that because someone is in a third world country that they have no formal education, and I can tell you, a lot of these women are highly intelligent.
Yes.
Just because they ain't got no computers, they ain't got no iMacs. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted.
But they do have iPhones.
Okay,
Right?
got phones.
They
Yeah.
have iPhones.
They sell the coochie to get that stuff. Don't worry.
No, they're not.
No,
No,
they're not.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know where the biggest concentration of
Still throwing his
prostitutes
head
are?
again.
Okay, in the United States. Believe it or not.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I mean,
America has more prostitutes and sex workers
Oh,
per
I've heard this
capita than any other
before.
country. Yeah.
yeah. In
I mean, man, you
America,
got OnlyFans.
I've had more women ask me for money, paying their rent, paying this or that, than any other country combined.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like women abroad rarely ask me for help. The
Yes.
only women right now who are actually asking me for help, like for foreign women, are Ukrainian refugees who I know are in other countries because I asked for their papers and they show me registrations and they're like, yeah, I don't have money to eat. Can I have €100? And that's nothing. I'm like, okay, sure, you can have €100. American women would ask me to pay their rent, car, fix things,
Yeah.
pay for their kids, pay for all kinds of stuff. I'm looking, I'm like, what's wrong with you?
And they brag about it on social media and they laugh about it.
yeah.
But how, Theo, how can you find these women over there that are educated and handle their own, but you can't find them in the United States? Why is that? You know that.
Y'all entitled. Y'all
No.
narcissistic.
She asked the question to Theo, let Theo answer it.
Let's just say, well, largely speaking, this country does not have a population of wives. And I'm finding, again, I've been here for 15 years back. What I have found is his continuous problems. And I won't even deal with it. So at this point, I mean, you're talking about women being able to take care of themselves and do this stuff. I'm not really seeing it out there. I don't even deal with it anymore.
Theo, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So obviously you're financially in a better situation than most, but do you find it quite interesting that even with the educated women, they still are the same ones that say, "I need help with this.
Yeah.
I need." So this
Oh,
is to answer your question, man. Even with the social economic hierarchy of women, when with the PhDs, the masters, they still have their hands out.
They do.
They're
They
the
do.
typical. I hate
I
to
don't
say,
believe it.
I have a daughter with a bachelor's, a daughter with a master's. I can tell you that's true.
So I have 2 master's degrees. Most of the women that I talk to in America are either gonna have bachelor's or a master's. I usually don't go any lower than that. And they have financial problems. It is always there. They always need some sort of help. And I'm like, yo, hands off, man. I'm not even dealing with it. No way.
Okay, well, maybe that's a black community problem. Maybe we
No,
it's not.
no. These are white chicks.
It is an American. It's an American problem.
It's an American problem. Yeah.
Oh, they're white.
But black one actually worse.
Oh,
black women are worse.
Yeah.
Women actually hold most of the consumer debt in this country.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
You know what?
In fact, I wish I could tell you behind the scenes when I talk to PhDs that date other black PhDs. Ooh.
Yeah, you don't want to date a PhD.
Believe it or not, okay, a lot of black female PhDs go get dudes out of prison.
Yes.
Okay, this is too much, BGS. This is too much.
I'm telling you what I've been told by other black PhDs. Okay.
BGS.
Y'all better take my example and start going after midgets. Dumb midgets.
There's a reason that black female PhDs get dudes out of prison because they can control them. Okay.
Yes, exactly. I was about to say that. Yeah.
Okay.
May,
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it real. I work in the prison system.
Mm.
I can tell you,
Hold on,
BJ,
Al. Hold on, Al. Hold on, Al. Let James finish your question.
May, I work in the prison system. May, I can tell you, the inmates. You know who puts money on their canteen? Middle class,
And upper
upper to
class,
middle class
class.
women.
Yeah.
We talk about women with pensions, women who are about to retire, women who are
Corporate.
educators,
Yes.
corporate,
Yeah.
and all they
Okay,
got
let
to
me
do,
ask
they
you.
got like special
Yeah.
apps, and they just there.
A friend of mine, she had a master's and she had 160 IQ. And guess what? Who she dated with?
Okay,
Prisoners.
so y'all are trying to make the point that these women would rather have a man who's locked up that they can control.
No, not locked up per se. What I'm saying is when they get out, okay, this is who they marry. I asked specifically why them. She said because they can get them locked up at a moment's notice if they get out of line.
Oh wow, this is too much.
May, my sister.
In other words, basically, you don't know what you think you know.
May,
Exactly.
my sister, hold on. May, my sister works for she works for it's associate to Texas Instruments, but no, she works for National Instruments right here in Austin, Texas. Smart, educated, without a degree. She put herself into one of the third highest positions within this company. Do you know who she married? She married a doughboy who served 15 years in the penitentiary. And do you know where he works? He works for the city of Austin Wastewater Management. She controls him.
Mm-hmm.
She gets that check every 2 weeks off the rip. You cannot tell me what these men are not saying is not true. It goes on every single day. Y'all know what y'all doing. Quit being naive.
And that's really the only community that really exists like that. Okay.
I used to go to Spelman. They have this thing. I didn't attend Spelman, but I used to go over there Market Fridays, and it's right in the middle of the hood. And one of the things that seems to be a what do you call rites of passage for these upper middle class Black women that go to Spelman. They want to go and hang out and date the ghetto dudes. And I always thought that was strange. I've always thought that was strange. Huh?
Why? Okay. The thing is, if you start listening to me, you actually start learning shit. Okay.
You've talked about the what do you call it? The pathology of
the dark. Okay, all people have a dark side. Okay. Men do activities to actually experience their dark side. Women experience their dark side through their men. Okay, so I've seen very rich women, okay, in Los Angeles date a dope boy, okay, or even have a baby by a dope boy. Doesn't make sense on the surface until you actually see them in action. They project the dark side through that man.
BG, I got
That's why you can turn out a white girl, boy.
You can, you sure can. That's another thing about
they do anything.
BGS, I got a partner.
white women used to do anything. Now Black women do almost the same shit.
Yeah, true.
I got a partner.
Except help your men. They won't do that.
If it was a white woman, she gonna be Jewish.
You were going to touch on something. I need you to get back to it. Please elaborate on the highest concentration of prostitution, the area in the United States.
Oh yeah, what I'm saying is the United States has more prostitutes per capita than any other country, but it's hit.
Yeah.
Please define what you mean by prostitute, though, BGS.
Sex worker, you sell pussy or penis, okay?
That means on Instagram.
Hopefully, you know the definition of prostitute.
Are you considering those women on OnlyFans who are open to? Are you talking about them?
They're sex workers. And guess what? OnlyFans women sell on the side. Okay,
right.
They sell coochie.
They sell coochie.
Most of it's going to be online.
What?
Most of it will be online.
Nah, I know some Walmart cashiers who sell it.
They sell coochie, okay. And most of the sex workers are not OnlyFans girls.
No, they're not. Like I said, they work at Walmart. They work at Burger King. They're everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I still don't understand how you're defining that. That means it's open to the public, or they just pay for play with individual men.
If you average, how's the prostitute gonna get her customers? Networking.
Okay, I was gonna say host trolling, but maybe I'm a little.
No, you go. Sometimes.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So host troll is in a private neighborhood with gates around it.
No, I'm saying that's why I would. When I think about solicitation, I think about you're somewhere public and you're letting people know. It's say like a truck stop.
Truck stop is one. The thing is, they have a newspaper. It used to be what is it?
Backpage.
Backpage. Okay.
Yep.
Back. The other versions of Backpage. A lot of them sell coochie in
on
DMs.
dating apps. They sell them on dating apps too.
That's what I said. It's mostly online then.
No, it's not mostly online. I can go to the Burger King right down. I can go to the McDonald's right down the street right now. Ask for a Happy Meal, and the girl will know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Why does it matter how they sell coochie?
It's all semantics, lady.
Why does it matter how they sell it?
Because you're saying such a large number of women.
Why does it matter how they sell it?
I ain't seeing women out here selling it. So it's got to be online. That's why you don't see it.
Okay.
You don't see too much of anything.
You know what? I don't know if you're in Atlanta, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they sell it.
Nah, I know she lying. Set Atlanta off the chain.
Everybody laughing. Atlanta got several trolls, man. What are you talking about?
In fact, those prostitutes so hot you don't even know what sex they are.
I can see May driving down the street. To be precise.
Hey, I can see May driving down the street. Why are all these girls out here with short skirts on and driving by? What are they doing? Okay, must be. It's too early for the club.
And she don't even know that a third of them is a man.
That's another form. Especially Atlanta. Okay,
Atlanta is crazy.
Atlanta has more male prostitutes per capita than any other planet city in America. Okay.
I lose my innocence.
Man, is it hard to believe this?
Y'all be saying some outrageous stuff.
Man, but is it hard to believe?
Wait a minute. Atlanta, the home of Freaknik?
Yeah,
I mean, really?
Are you kidding?
Walking down the street, we have strip clubs.
No, wait. Are you kidding? The home of Freaknik? The home of Freaknik?
Miss me, no.
Freaknik ended 10 years ago.
The home of the strip clubs, okay?
Well, what happens is that everybody brought their degeneracy to the city. So don't blame the city because everybody brought their degeneracy.
That's what Atlanta's known for, okay?
Yeah. Atlanta's always been known for degeneracy.
Nobody bring degeneracy there. It was already there. That's how to make a war.
The Houston Buck Naked clubs, the Atlanta strip clubs, and the French Quarter are known for prostitution. Okay?
That's why I said we got strip clubs. I know they're selling it in there. I know they sell it in there. I used to go to the strip club.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, AB. Somebody's trying to get in. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me get in for a minute. You guys had a mayor named Keisha Land.
Bottom.
Here we go.
Come on now.
Hey. What would Kevin say? God damn it! You cannot make this shit up.
Oh my gosh!
When I heard that, that's perfect. That's a perfect mirror for Atlanta.
Oh man, you're funny.
Keisha Land.
You are.
You're funny.
I mean, May, are you really this naive, or are you just putting?
No, she talking shit, bro.
If you lived in the middle of Iowa, I could understand. You live in Atlanta. Come on, baby.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Let me tell you. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all where I know they sell booty at in Atlanta. There's a place called Ponce de Leon.
Now they sell it at your house.
That's one. Where's the next one?
And then I know they sell it at the strip club because my friend Umar, when I took him for his birthday to the strip club, he went to the ATM and there was this tall chick and he said he was gonna ask her if he could buy it, and he got money out, and I told him that's not nice. And he asked her anyway, and she was negotiating the money. So I know for a fact.
That's two. What's three?
So you was at that Dr. Umar party.
Say Lenox Mall.
Hey, you know what?
And then they got these truck stops and these hotels. These
truck stops and hotels. You know, they have Atlanta's famous for freak parties where they come in.
It ain't prostitution.
No, that's not prostitution.
No, she's talking about the swinging scene.
The swinging scene.
Yeah.
I got Atlanta all over that piece. So miss me with them. I've trucked there 5 times. I know.
Trust and believe. Okay.
But you're a lot lizard.
There's
I don't do lot lizards, sweetheart.
But the thing is, a lot lizards try to do you. They will knock on your door. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All day, every day.
Man, you trying to buy a date, baby? No, baby.
Bust the sign with that.
Hey, sometimes you give them $5 to go away because you won't go away. Hey, you know what, baby? Go buy yourself some coffee. Okay, get away from my door.
DJ, got signs. Real owner operators, we got signs. It's like, remember the little Ghostbuster sign when you had the ghost coming through there with the
yeah.
We got a picture of a gator which represents a lock lizard. She's in a dress, swinging her hips, and it's a circle around her. And that little bars, no, don't come to my door. Don't come to my door. You might catch a gun to your face. For real.
What I'm saying is, okay. Now this is stuff we talk about all the time. It has nothing to do with worshiping women. In fact, you said it's the opposite. Okay, it's about men and what men do. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how we navigate the world. Okay.
Yeah. I just again, you're talking about workers. Okay, so there's 3 blocks away from me. There's a Sonic. On the back of there, there's workers. Yeah. And then there's a gas station. Behind the gas station, there are workers, and it's snow bunnies and Latinas who are doing that. Then my class students are in. Oh no, this would be bad, but there's a Waffle House about 1 mile away from me.
Waffle House,
yes. Come on,
behind the Waffle House.
Come
behind
on,
the Waffle
man.
House. There's trailers. There's trailers and there's a road.
Trailers,
it's kind of a gravel road. They got them right there.
Come on, man. Waffle House, really?
Yeah, behind Waffle House. That's right.
IHOP won't let them on their premises, but Waffle House, you can get them.
Waffle House, that sounds about right.
Because in that area, there's a Waffle House, there's a gas station, and then there's 2 hotels. So all the hotel people got to do is just walk out the back, and they go to that like kind of gravel alley, and then they've got the trailer parks, and they got the sex workers. They're right there.
Right there, yeah.
And the Asians got the massage parlors on lock, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, they do have a new mall.
Yeah,
they give good service.
Asian. Yeah,
they give good service.
They do get good service. Yep.
You know what?
You had it?
Oh, hell yeah.
Actually taking their places in New York City, the Venezuelans, okay?
Oh, get out of here.
Yes.
Fat ass.
Venezuelans, the business.
They're all in the Bronx.
Oh, yeah.
Taking that pussy over.
Oh, yeah. They have mattresses on the sidewalk.
Yeah. No, I ain't doing all that now.
No, they're not going to do it on the side. They're advertising, okay?
Okay, gotcha.
That's their way of communicating.
Communicating, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when I was in the military, man, and when I was stationed in Oklahoma, man, you go down to the massage parlor, get your business done, and you do that during lunch, and then go back on duty and be done.
Yeah, that's why they love. That's why they love Pattaya.
Check this out. As soon as the Ukrainians came over here as refugees, when they was up in New York, you think they wasn't fucking on mattresses on the ground? Yes, they sure was, brother. Trust.
It wasn't just boots on the ground, huh?
You ain't shit.
Y'all remember we literally covered that. We literally covered that when they first came in town, because it was dudes in New York who was snitching and telling, man, look, these dudes were literally showing pictures. Man, look, they fucking outside on the ground on
yeah. I showed a video of them right after the war started, right? And you saw like 10 of them in an alley, man, giving it up on the mattresses. Okay.
Wow.
May, especially when
they got to survive. So it is what it is.
That's the woman that's a consummate survivor.
Yeah, when these job cuts get deeper and deeper.
Oh yeah, it's already happened.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We remember the crack era.
I can see it now, boy. 100 pointing the thumb down, lower. 890.
Lower.
Lower.
We lived through this, man.
Yeah,
we lived through it.
I lived through it.
Yeah.
I remember
Women
I
join the
asked your
military.
sister.
You do know that, right? Women will join the military.
No, they won't.
No. Women in the military were prostituting too.
Yes, they
Yeah.
were.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
they
yeah.
were.
Why do you think the Navy puts women on carriers? Okay,
Hmm.
Y'all
why do you
got
think they
it.
did?
You got so much. The military is filled with so
Make
much
no-
sex that most people who don't serve don't even know it.
They're freaky. Don't say they're selling it.
in other
They do
words,
sell it. They sell it. They freak. They do everything.
and then they get pregnant trying to get out of the
Yeah,
military.
yeah.
Exactly.
Can you say my ex-wife? Can you say my ex-wife? Yes.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, we're not telling something we don't know, May. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know where you've been, but I don't. You're probably not as sheltered as you claim to be. Okay?
Man, come hang
I
with this
told you I've
young
been to the strip
millennial.
club and I done seen some stuff.
No, man,
I'm
man,
not
come hang. Man, come hang with this millennial right here. I can show you the degeneracy, right?
Yeah.
365.
Oh, she know where the spots are, man. She's an
Yeah,
adult.
she's just over here talking shit.
Talking
That's
shit.
what she's
Who
doing.
acted like they was innocent? I never acted like I was innocent. I didn't
No,
admit it all the time.
well, I've never seen what kind of places are you guys around? I've never seen people act like this. Ew, well, where you guys been from?
I
Oh,
said it has to be online.
No, it don't.
I
Look,
see
May,
folks walking down the
May,
street selling butt. That's all I'm saying.
you know where to go, where they're at.
Well, I'm a woman. What would I know? I just told you.
You
Like
know,
old boy right
bullshit.
here, he's a trucker. He knows where the
No, May,
I
you know
don't.
what
I'm not a trucker.
May, you know what a stroll is. Everybody knows what a stroll is. Okay.
I told you, Ponce de Leon.
see, there you go.
There you go.
Jeez.
I had to. I named the places I seen prostitutes. I just said I believe most of them are online.
I don't say you have to buy. Okay.
Yeah,
I was just saying I think most prostitution is online.
Actually,
I don't see much host.
Most of the prostitution is not online.
No,
it's not online, man.
Prostitution demands tactile behavior.
And most prostitutes are not pros. Actually, street prostitutes that like to try to feed their family. Okay.
Exactly.
And the reason they're not online is because they don't want to be known. Okay, they want to not on. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Landon
right now
is not gay. Ponce de Leon is not gay.
I didn't say they weren't.
Nobody said it was.
I think somebody
in the chat.
Oh, you said Ponce is gay.
I would have it. I wouldn't know one way or the other.
I don't live in Atlanta. But I tell you what, like I live like in Baltimore City. I live 1 block from Bolton Hill, and these are $1 million to $500,000 houses, and the white chicks are in there selling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when the white girls do it, it's called escorting. You know, they don't.
Yeah, they call it escorting. Yeah, exactly.
White girls, high end white girls, but
white women. So I could believe that most women,
white women are street hoes. No,
yes,
white women street hoes too.
They street hoes too. But yeah, these.
And go by the trailer park one day, okay?
Oh, trailer park wide open.
Wide open.
Mm-hmm.
BGS, tell about the days of the strawberries.
And the thing about it, here's the thing, May. You keep on talking about things being online. The thing is, long before there was an internet, they were doing this shit. This ain't nothing new.
Okay. For a woman to be online and sell coochie, right? That means she has to be able to be identified. Okay.
Exactly.
Most women selling coochie don't want to be identified. Most prostitutes are actually on the street. Okay. Most of them. Okay.
And let's be truthful. A good portion of them are single mothers.
A single mother, yeah, single mothers especially trying to feed your kids. Yeah. Which is sad. Yeah.
Wow.
But she giving up that donkey.
Hey! You know what? I went to pick up my like a year ago. I went to pick up my grandson a pizza, right? And right down the street, basically, there's where the homeless used to hang out. Okay, I saw like 8 of them sitting on the fence. I said, "Oh shit! I don't know what they're there for." All women, all homeless women, there to sell coochie. Yeah.
And come to Pigtown in Baltimore.
If I was younger,
I tell you what, come to Pigtown in Baltimore near the methadone clinic. Oh, you're gonna see all kinds of.
Go to Philly, man. Go to Philly.
Right there, damn.
Philly's off the chain.
Philly is crazy.
Want white prostitute? Go to Philly, man.
Tell her about Figueroa. Tell her about Figueroa.
I mean, look at that. California Figueroa.
Oh, Fig is more upscale, man. Go if you want cheap, go down Western Avenue. Okay.
He's like, you won't cheat, go down to Western Avenue.
Why do you think Kristen Karazin's father moved them from 94th and Central?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the host roll down there. You had to move them out of the way.
Look, I was looking on YouTube at some of the the guy driving through the strip, and I was like, man, some of these chicks look kind of good.
Fig is more upscale because people coming from downtown and USC have to drive down Fig, so it's a little bit more upscale. But the thing is, you go off beat like Western Avenue or even Central, or a couple of other places, basically, then you can actually start to decline. Like you go downtown. You have homeless women selling coochie.
Oh hell! Ugh.
Shit, don't think these college university chicks ain't doing it either.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I know a girl who went to who was working on her PhD at Hopkins, and she used to babysit my daughter, and she was a sugar baby.
Yep.
And she's an archaeologist too. I mean, she was post grad.
Yeah, upscale. Yeah.
Now, boss, you laughed it off, but really, she needs to understand how these prices go. Let her know about the generation of the strawberry, how low the prices got for that, and where it's gonna get to now.
Okay. I always tell you, a vagina is a commodity. Just her womb with kids, that's what the extra value is. Her vagina is not. Okay, it's a commodity. Okay, it's a commodity. Okay, the thing is actually relegated to market forces, right? More supply and dropping demand. Guess what? Prices have to go down. So I've been telling y'all that for 10 years. Okay, just wait. Eventually, the government's going to get tired of supporting women to go actually run out of money. They've run out of money. That's the problem, right?
They are running out of money.
Like the congressman that got killed in Illinois?
Minnesota.
Minnesota, right? Okay, it's because they killed a medical bill in Minnesota where they wasn't going to pay for it, right? That's how come they got shot. Okay, in other words, there's no more money in the system, right? So basically, people are going to get the station net cut. And what's going to happen? Okay, why do you think they do criminalize prostitution across the country?
Yeah,
they don't have jobs for these chicks no more. They're gonna have to do something with them, right? And they
got something. Sell your pussy.
The biggest problem why DEI is a problem, okay, especially with AI and automation, right? Okay, is they send a lot of women, especially black women, and to get degrees with all these loans to get these paper pushing jobs, which they needed at the time, right? Okay. I was telling Char Willie and a whole bunch. I'm gonna have to find that video because I actually produced it, right? 2018, I'm telling them that. I said, is you're gonna have to change what you do, gonna have to upskill yourself because your jobs are gonna go away, okay? And I said that in 2018, they're slowly but surely winding their ways through the system, right? Okay, with Trump, with COVID and what Trump is doing, he's doing it faster than people actually expect. Okay, so all the DEI jobs with automation and with AI and automation, okay, all those white collar paper pushing jobs are mostly female, black and white women. Okay.
Yeah.
I see so many white women in their cars crying about them getting laid off. Okay. Google just laid off 20,000 people. Google.
DJ, when I say talk to Charlie, I haven't talked to her in a while. Is she okay?
As far as I know, she was okay. I'm not going to say exactly what went down with Char Willie and that group because if you talk to me offline, I can tell you. I'm not going to tell you online.
Please. Because I'm concerned.
There's something. It has something to do with Cerulean and what went on down there. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened. Last time I talked to her was right after COVID. Okay, because she had a channel. I don't know what happened to her since.
Yeah, because she shut down a channel like 2-3 years ago, and ever since then, I don't know what happened to her.
Yeah, you know what? I was trying to help. I was trying to help them build their channel up, but I kept getting attacked, so I left. Okay, People think I go visit your channel because I want to talk to you. No, I don't. I'm trying to bring people to you. What's his name? Kev found that out, right? I said, man, I'm trying to bring people to your channel. I'm not trying to take over your channel. I'm trying to.
But just we'll talk more about that.
I'm on because I'm on here with you because people follow me. Okay, I'm trying to bring people to you. Okay. AB knows that. Art knows that. Everybody else knows that. I'm not. I could be doing other things than sitting up for 2-3 hours on somebody else's channel. I don't have to do that.
Hey, BGS.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, interrupt real quick. I know I'm probably very improper for being up this late and on here with y'all men's, but I got 2 assignments from you, and one assignment I'm about to go. One assignment is to read the Moynihan report. As much as it pains me, I'm going.
You can. I actually read through the whole thing with supporting material. You can actually go to my channel and hit my playlist with Moynihan reports right there. You don't want to read it, okay?
Okay, which channel? Which channel?
When you just hit more channels, probably Moynihan reports probably on the playlist. Okay, I read through the whole thing. I think I did 6, 7, or 8 videos, like 15 minutes a piece. Okay, actually put in supporting material and stuff like that around it too. So,
with my ADHD, that will work. 15-minute increments. I think I can handle it. And then my second assignment that I think I have gotten somehow from this is I'm going to drive around Atlanta and see if I can find some prostitutes. Just to see.
Please. All you got to all you do is ask. They'll tell you where they're at.
No, I got an exit 11, 285 across the street from the Blue Flame, the petrol, the iron skillet. You look left or you look right at that intersection in front of the strip club or across the street in front of the goddamn truck. They're gonna be walking the stroll. I promise you, you'll find everything.
Just hang around them YNs. They'll show you everything you need to see.
Oh, you funny. You funny. Well, listen, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for not cussing me out and being patient. And Theo, don't get a headache, okay?
You gotta get a headache. What's that deal?
What's that, bro?
What's that?
Well, buddy. What's new scale. My new scale. Body scale.
Oh, body scale. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But my nice. One will rent a U-Haul trucks and vans to sell around stadiums. Yes, they will.
Oh yeah, there was what was it? It was in Texas. It was a guy who had a tour bus, and he just had women in it. And he was just selling it.
Yeah. So I go around at night riding my bike. Sometimes I might ride after this broadcast, and you'd be surprised the dark areas around the park got Snow Bunny and Latinas, and they're doing little bounces. I'm like, okay, they're just riding as fast as I can. Get out of there.
They got to make their money. Okay,
Look, they be up under my deck sometimes. I got to run them away.
Yeah.
But this is Baltimore City, so you can expect that type of crap.
Question: did Trump get carrots on overseas hoes? I'll see myself out. No, he didn't. Okay, they're still duty free.
Exactly.
He ain't gonna do that to us. He got his wife the same way.
That's the conundrum that they have. How do you tax it? You can't. You can't tax it.
You have to legalize it to tax it. You can't.
Yeah.
They do
even if it's legal, because I understand the decriminalization part, but let's just say they legalize it. These chicks and the pimps certainly ain't going to pay no taxes on it. They're like, what?
Because I got 3 nephews. They all have Latina girlfriends. Okay. Yeah. She knows what we're saying is true. She just don't want to accept it.
She just wanted to be around men. That's all she wanted.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. She probably just the most masculine energy she had in like a month.
Yeah.
My nephew graduated 18. He told his mom and told me, like, it's only white girls. That's all.
Gentrification going on in Bankhead. You are a good sport. Yeah. Yeah. Well, basically, they started gentrifying Atlanta in '93 after the Hope 6 after Bush passed that law. And that's how come Atlanta got the '96 Olympics. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. That's why I know. May said, I don't know where it is. I've never seen any of this stuff. I know she's lying because she lives in Atlanta. You cannot see it.
You can't miss it in
You
Atlanta,
can't miss it
though.
in Atlanta. Yeah.
There were so many in Atlanta. I couldn't believe how many.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Atlanta is basically designated as a sex city. Atlanta, Miami, Atlanta, Miami, New
DC,
Orleans,
definitely.
DC, not as much.
Houston.
No, DC is huge because they got you have a very large madam scene up here for the Congress people.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I'm talking about a massive sex scene, right? Houston,
Dallas, definitely.
New Orleans is known as a sex site. Las Vegas, a little bit, okay, but it's really just Houston, New Orleans, Atlanta, and Miami, okay, really big, okay, really big. In fact, they're known for it. That's what you go. You actually fly into there looking for that.
Don't leave LA out of the equation.
No,
Do not.
You don't come to LA for prostitutes, okay? Come to LA for the beaches, okay? But you go to Houston, the buck naked clubs, okay, and the clubs in Houston and shit like that,
Amen.
and the Bourbon Street and the Quarter in
Amen.
New Orleans, yep.
Amen.
And Atlanta's got whether it's boy or girl, big sex scene, okay.
Yeah,
And then Miami's hot girl summer all year long.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Amen. 304. Amen.
Hey, if Atlanta wasn't so popular, I would throw Tampa in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, Jacksonville. Yeah.
Daytona Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, every large city is going to have your areas. What I'm saying is, for especially for Black people, okay, well, all people, basically, those cities are actually known for sex.
Right.
Yeah,
that's true.
They actually promote it.
One thing I want to say overseas is the sex worker scene is a lot more discreet. For
Yes.
you want to be.
Yeah, it is.
It's all on one section. You know where you at. Is that's where it is.
They put you in a zone. And they don't, and basically most of them, most of them are actually sitting on their steps of their house. Okay, unless they actually showed a whole village of prostitutes in Ethiopia. You just walk, and they're all standing in front of their doors. Okay, it's almost like a little section. It's not all over the city. Let's put it that way. It's very contained.
Yep,
it's like the red light district in over in Holland. I mean, they standing in front of the shop.
Don't take no pictures.
It basically it's organized. Okay. And here in the States, it's not as organized. At least not. They actually don't want to admit that it actually exists. They try to hide it, even though it's out in the open.
In Amsterdam, there's a daycare right in the center. So all the women drop their kids off right before work and do what they do. Go right in the center of the red light district, pick their kids up, and go. Keep on going. You'll see kids in the red light district. It's usually the children of
the prostitutes. Yeah.
So they have health insurance, free testing. They if you want to follow models, follow Amsterdam. From everything I've seen, because they make sure they pay taxes.
Yeah.
I think Australia is the same way. Australia.
How can they get the services if they don't pay taxes?
Yeah.
Like Pattaya in Thailand.
Yeah, the Thai government know why tourists come over there.
Yeah.
And they benefited from it too, because remember what happened in Sweden? The men stopped marrying Swedish women and then went and got a bunch of Thai wives.
Yeah.
It was just like, now screw these Swedish women now.
It's why the Chinese thinking about putting an anti-passport board laws to keep them men from doing the same thing. Because South Korea is doing the same thing. They're going to Vietnam and Thailand and Cambodia getting wives.
Yeah, when I was in Japan, I talked to immigration about international marriages, and I thought that the biggest immigration was Western men and Japanese women, and they said, "Oh no, it's Japanese men with Southeast Asian women."
Yep, big time. Oh, the Japanese, the biggest group in Pattaya are Australians and Japanese.
One thing I wanted to say is going back on what May said, how Black men are most egalitarian, and she was arguing that.
Yeah.
I'm in Colombia, every Colombian woman I'm talking to is talking bad about what Colombian men don't do. Like, I like black American men, y'all are more fair. Any place, even in China, every place you hear, I like black American men, y'all fair, y'all more fun, y'all will do more. And you hear that everywhere you go. So it's like, man, you realize, oh, we actually the most preferred men.
Even in a Latino state like California, right? Which is my son gets into a lot of scuffles with Latino men is because Latino women do prefer black men.
Yeah.
For those reasons, okay? But the thing is, your own woman will not admit that. That's the problem. You can see May. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. You guys are still scum of the earth.
Well,
I don't care.
guess I'm gonna be scum of the earth now.
She will not get off of it.
It's the K Michelle effect. It said, "You no good niggas.
You no good niggas."
And said, "But bitch, you've been sleeping with too much men, especially not black men, and you complain about black men. Ain't that ironic? And you turn down 3 proposals. I bet you those 3 were black men that still want to give it a chance.
She's still mad at her baby daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
She's still mad at her baby daddy.
How long came
that's almost a generation ago.
Huh? Oh, yeah. I think her daughter's like 17, 18 years old now. She's still mad. K Michelle.
Yeah, she's mad because her son dating out, and there's only one kid she had. Even your son said, "Oh, the hell no with this. Let me go find me a non-black woman."
I mean, what I'm saying is, okay, you might not like what we say, but the thing is, we got receipts. You know.
Yep.
What's worse if we ain't the only one with the receipts.
No.
You got men across this country who are saying the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. And you got men and women across the world saying the same thing.
Yeah. We don't like what y'all putting down.
No, they don't. Okay. They do not. In fact, I'm getting ready to do this video about this. Somebody sent it to me. I think it was one of my subs, one of my think tank folks, about this chick that's in. She went to Thailand from Arkansas. Went to Thailand, right, and got pregnant by a Chinese guy in Thailand, right? And she's bragging about having an Asian baby, right? Okay.
Oh, you talking about that black chick? I know what you're talking about.
And when she calms down, talks about her relationship with the father, right? Well, me and the father are not really together, and he's not really involved, and yada yada yada. He was from Australia. Actually went back to Australia, and I haven't seen him since. So I said, "Damn!" I said, "You went all the way to Thailand to do the same shit you did in America."
Yep.
And we can't even blame it on the black guy. And first thing the woman interviewer said, "Oh, we have to find you a black king." Okay, trying to find you a black male crash test dummy.
Don't worry, they'll find a way to make it Jermaine's fault.
No, yeah. Well, the thing is that you can't make it Jermaine's fault because Jermaine wasn't there. Okay.
Nope.
Everywhere you go, there you are.
Yeah, you got an Asian Jeffrey.
DJS, what's
You can't even get child support.
Australian?
Not in Thailand, no.
No. I could laugh at that because I heard about how that system works in Thailand.
Yeah.
DGS, what's the equivalent to the Jermaine for Australia?
Jeffrey. Outside the United States, the Jeffries. Ashley Jeffrey.
I mean, gentlemen, I know a sister personally left her husband, wasn't paying no bills because she wanted to get her groove back.
Yeah.
Went to Haiti, got pregnant. She got pregnant not to Ebola. You already know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now, obviously, Trump's on that. You better get your ass out. She raising a child by herself, minimum wage, struggling, sleeping on mattresses. Man,
Black women don't care about that stuff, man. They care about their feelings. Okay. But black women actually run by their vagina more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Black man, if you want to get you a black woman, there's many in South America. That's what I'm saying. Go to Afro-Colombians.
There are more black women in Brazil than there are in America. Okay?
Yep.
And
Just Brazil alone.
They are a lot more nicer and way better and manageable. Shoot.
Black women know who they are, man. They just don't. They don't like it. They don't like. They don't like it to be public. That's what it is. They know how mean they actually are.
Yeah, I think sometimes my mom forgets how mean she is.
Ah,
yelling at herself.
What I'm saying is, it's normal. Basically, it's normal to them. Okay.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's like living in the tropics, right? Where it's 104 in the shade, year round. Okay, it's normal to you.
If they ain't got nothing to fuss at, they just unhappy. I'm like,
they are unhappy. Yes, they are. Yeah, that's who they are. I'm not saying. The thing is, we just talk about reality. We're not talking about things that are made up. Okay, and it may comes and proves the point. Okay.
Exactly, because that's why I couldn't stand listening to her, because it's just like, damn.
That's why I made her be quiet. Okay. Don't do that
Never forget the episode Kevin Samuels did with the ever-resting bitch face chick who couldn't smile and refused to smile.
You know what? We 10 years ago on my mentor's channel, which is a women's channel. Okay. Right when you used to complain about black men asking them to smile. Okay. I mean, I don't want to smile, and why should I smile to you? Okay. That's why Kevin said that when he had that little mini breakdown about all black men want black women to be nice to them.
Be nice. Yep.
Remember that sister?
Yeah.
She was snapping, eyes rolling, all that.
Yeah.
But you see, y'all can take my strategy, get a chick with Down syndromes where they got that perpetual smile on their face, and you won't have to worry about none of that.
I swear to God, you ain't shit for that. I swear to God, on earth, you ain't shit for that.
That's it, crazy.
Okay. I gotta wake up in 5 hours. I gotta go sleep.
All right.
Thank you, BGS.
Thank you,
BGS.
All right, Phil.
Thanks for stopping in, Mookie.
Yes.
Are we going to do the? Do you want to do the thing next Monday? Because
yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I'll be there.
All right.
Okay, guys. Talk.
All right, brother.
Take it easy.
All right. Closing thought.
Right. My closing thought is, since I'm on this thing, Unreal Engine 5.6 Fest just ended last week. I'm on that tip, still going for the grants. So, for those who are doing graphics, it's still viable.
Okay.
Because AI needs to be cleaned up.
It does. Yeah. It's not there yet. It's not there yet.
So with that, I'm out.
All right. Anybody else?
I'll go. Brothers of BGS panel, love y'all. Thank y'all for having me on. It's a great conversation. May I'm pray for you, but I got some YNs. If you need to see them 304s, I know a bunch of YNs, boy.
YNs. Them YNs are something else, man.
They know them 304s.
YNs remind me of the 80s, man. The 80s come back again, okay? The YN. I was telling my grandson, why are you dressed like a YN? I'm not just like a YN.
But on that note, brothers, get them steps, get your pleasure on, get your freedom on.
Yeah.
Man, if these bitches are thinking, say bye.
Bye, yo. As for buy, basically $5 or less, okay?
$5 or less, man. I'm out of here.
May hated that shit. I can tell she hated that one.
Hey,
y'all too much. Y'all know we are, baby.
I'm gonna get May's email. Say May, I'm gonna see another 304. Her ribs are showing, man.
Yeah.
Her ribs are showing.
She's gonna take these $3, okay?
She's gonna take these $3.
She's gonna take these $3.
I'm gonna stretch that motherfucking US dollar.
Oh boy. Anyway.
I'm out, fellas. Have a good one.
All right. Anybody else?
I got it. Man, look, they insufferable. They always waking up banging on breakfast face, mean mugging, look more terrible than a pit bull growling.
Okay.
Man, if they don't stop,
you got that Michelle Obama face on, huh?
Yeah, for real. And if they don't stop it and they don't cut it out soon, when the world looks up one day and it's them passed them by, And they're going, but why? But why? No, but why? No, y'all played this game for 60 plus years and thought y'all was winning. But ever since Cheeto, God bless Don Cheeto. God bless him.
That's your boy.
He come through the no BS and he said, guess what? I'm only shutting it down till today. And I'm gonna shut it down for the next 3 3/4 years, 3+ years.
Yeah, I knew exactly what was going to happen when he did it too.
Mm-hmm. And now, woe is me, woe is me. The world is coming to an end. It's everything's topsy-turvy. We don't know what to do. Yes, you do. Start complying.
Obsidian has been dancing the jig ever since. Okay, because he's been praying for this day for 10 years, man. He's been praying for this day. Cuts. He's been saying that back in the day. He said cuts. Now it's here. I got to catch up with and see what he got to say. I know he's dancing the jig. He's had a smile on his face the last 6 months, man. I've never seen him this happy.
Oh, what we say down south? That boy happy than a sissy with a bag of dicks in church on first Sunday looking for brand new religion.
Oh, he just got accepted into the CC camp.
Man. All right, we 10 to the side, boss.
All right, keep them turning, man.
Oh yeah, 10.
Anybody else?
Go ahead. Next. It was interesting to having May up here.
Wow. I knew she would show up.
Yeah, that's just willful ignorance right there. But I was gonna say, fellas, build your networks like they talk about early with people overseas, because that will help out. I have connections to somebody in Kenya that I just made connection with a girl. Actually, I shared your video with the on the Patreon that y'all played earlier with Dr. Marisa. She's actually from Brazil, and and her parents work in the embassy, and she was like, "How you know all this and everything with like the bricks and all like this?" She was really shocked. So yeah, I make connections, and the way it's going, because I know the way Brazil with Lula and with the visa, she might be able to help with that. So all I say, make a connection. Don't even have to be sexual or anything. Just talk to people.
That's why I give you guys certain information so that when you get into these circles, you can have a conversation.
It works.
It does work.
It worked when I was talking to the other guy that works for Kenyan embassy in Amsterdam. It works.
It does work.
You don't know how to know enough, just have to comprehend, especially if you're a black man. A black man from, because they're going to look at you because you know things. And you know how it works. So I say expand your knowledge and start building relationships outside the United States.
See, May thinks you guys follow me because it's a cult. No, you follow me because there's certain things I can tell you that you won't hear anyplace else. That's why. But she don't understand that because like she listens to respond and not comprehend.
Yeah, it's different talking to people outside the United States because you don't know who you're going to run into, especially because you're going to stand out as a black man, and especially to start hearing you speak. They're going to be curious where you're from and what your story.
I try not to stand out. That's just me, I try to blend in.
Yeah, I try to blend, but once you have to speak,
once they know to hear your accent, they're gonna know. Yeah, that's true.
When I was Colombia, you see me, I have locks. Everybody thought I was Jamaican until I opened my mouth. They looked at me like, "Where are you from?" Because I did the test where I dressed like a regular American, I dressed like a Colombian, I dressed like a poor Colombian.
Okay.
You get different. Yeah, you get different reaction. When I dressed like American, like in Colombia, I wore shorts, sneakers, and everything.
Yeah.
People knew I was. I dressed like a normal middle class Colombian where they wear polos and dress pants. People, I was going to work and everything, dressed like a regular worker with work boots and everything. People thought I was a blue collar.
What tell work boot, jeans, and t-shirt, right?
So I always say when you travel and see what, except in Europe, you'll blend in because of the international city. But a lot of places, like go in, see what the culture is. Do the research. A lot of people don't.
If you wear jeans, work boots, and a t-shirt, no matter where you go, you're gonna blend in because they think you're a worker.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
You might have to dirty your work boots up a bit, but yeah, they're gonna think you're a worker.
Then I know, like if you're heading to formal places, just have some, because a lot of places in South America are very formal, where you have a polo on. Like I went out to dinner with this one girl. She was nice, middle class, wore polo and slacks. Don't come and speak in Spanish, and they want to realize you're not from there. So it's always be aware of your surroundings, and if you need to stand out, know when to do so. That's But as a black person, a lot of the world, you can, like I said, you can blend in and you can travel. It's amazing. I'm telling you, I get depressed when I come back to the United States. It's depressing for a little bit. But thanks for having me up. I just had to share my 2 cents when it was everything transactional.
She don't know, man. She don't know. I just want to make it clear that what they think about the manosphere is not true. Okay, because they have no idea. But Big J should know because he's been here long enough. But you don't want to learn.
Yeah, but thanks for having me up. You have a good night.
All right. Is that it? Okay, I guess that's it.
I wrote from the back. But you can end the show.
Huh?
I wrote from the back chat. You can end the show.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you real quick. Okay. I'm not gonna elaborate too much.